Welcome to 90 Day Fiance Fridays, the late edition.
What's up, everybody? It's 2025. How do y'all feel? Do y'all feel older?
Older and less wiser, yeah.
Yeah, given the state of the world right now, definitely older, but like chaotic. Like the world is chaotic right now.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year! I'm getting sick. I'm gonna tell y'all real quick. I'm really
Oh,
pissed because it's like really, really, really cold, and I'm in Florida, by the way. It's really cold. I'm sitting in my house in sweatpants and a hoodie and a long sleeve shirt and a beanie cap, and I'm freezing. And I don't know who did this, but whoever did it, I hate you.
There's a lot of that going around.
mm,
Out here. I was in New York for the New Year's, and a lot of people. We had a house party, and there's a lot of people left there the next day calling us that they're sick, that they're feeling sick, they got a
yeah.
cold. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
our,
that
our,
going around.
our own Coco is sick.
Yeah, Coco's
This
down.
is this is crazy. Like I could have stayed in Ohio for this. I'm freezing, and I was at Universal and Disney and stuff over the past couple of days, and I left early both times. As soon as the sun went down, I was like, I can't do it, y'all. I can't do it. I'm gonna freeze to death. I mean, it's not that cold. Like I'm pretty sure there's probably
Mhm,
people in Canada right now that are telling me to grow up and grow a pair. But
mhm.
it was freezing. It was like 50 degrees, and I think last night it was 46. We're not built for that down here, so I'm really really pissed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm hearing a lot of that from Florida as well, from my family in Florida. It's freezing.
yeah, like I think like snow wise, we're supposed to get like up to like 10 inches, like Sunday to Monday.
Ew, I
No,
don't miss
no Diddy,
that.
no Diddy, by the way.
No Diddy, yeah, no Diddy. Nice try, Diddy. No Diddy for that. I don't miss that. I hated snow and I also hated driving in snow. So I don't miss that, but I feel like this cold air is I'm just not built for it. Like even when I was in Ohio, I got really, really sick every winter because I just feel like my body wasn't meant for it. I grew up down south, so this Arctic cold is not for me.
True, and yeah, hopefully Coco feels better for like Sunday night, maybe, or next Friday at least.
Yeah, we need Coco back ASAP. I miss you, Coco. Get better. Um, be safe and healthy. And oh, you want to hear a funny story about Coco? So I was on TikTok, which was ironic. I don't use TikTok, and a guy messaged me on TikTok, and he said, "Hey, is this the real George? Like the real George?" And I said, "Yeah." And he was like, "Hey, I'm Coco's boyfriend or fiance or whatever, Steve. So
Hmm.
I have met the Mister of Mr. Coco. I've met him online.
It was a message, or you were live, or what?
Like it was a DM.
Hmm.
Well, I was live. Me and Kim were live.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember what day it was. New Year's Eve? No, the day before New Year's Eve. Oh, excuse me. And I got a bunch of messages, and I realized that I had like a message folder that I'd never checked ever since like ever. And I was going through them, and I saw that message, and I said, "Yeah, it's the real me," as though there's a fake one. And, and then he was like, "It's me. I feel like I'm talking to a star. I've heard your voice," and I was like, "That is hilarious." I was like, "But that is so cool. I'm so glad to have met the other half, Mr. Coco."
That's weird. Like he doesn't, because Coco said he doesn't really use much social media, so maybe he just uses like TikTok or some shit.
Isn't
Yeah, that struck me as weird too that he was even on TikTok. But I was like, "What? You of all the people in the world, like you could have looked up Elon Musk, like anybody, and you looked up me. Like I'm very flattered. I'm very very flattered."
isn't Coco's man named Leo? No.
No.
No, well, that's her dream man,
Oh.
but her actual man is named
Yeah,
Steve.
Oh,
Leo
okay,
is
okay.
is her version of Liz to me.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, yeah, I know Leo.
Yeah, that's the hall
Okay.
pass. That's
Oh,
the hall
okay.
pass, right? So if she was to meet him in person,
Mhm.
Steve can't get mad if she bangs him.
Oh,
That's the
okay.
hall pass.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she's actually in a relationship with Steve.
Yeah, Steve is like a silver fox or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He does have the silver hair. He had a photo posted, Shabooty, so I'm gonna screenshot it
I
and send
mean,
it to you.
I've seen it on her Instagram, I think.
Oh, okay. That's funny because I've never seen him, so it was very interesting for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, this is what the mysterious silver fox Steve looks
You
like.
know,
So I thought I was
I
special.
mean,
Apparently, I'm not special because you already saw him.
I
But
mean, he's an accomplished editor, right?
Something like that. Is it wrong that I don't know? You know, it's funny. Coco tells us what he does literally every week, and I don't know.
No, I mean,
That's.
he's like, I don't know what he right now. He may not be doing. He may be in between
I
jobs. But
think he's either a
no, I think
writer,
no, he's
like a
like no, he's like
screenwriter, or an
a
editor.
video editor.
That sounds right. See, that's how I know I'm actually a man.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't remember, and she said it a million times. So that just shows you my man is showing.
True.
Because I should be listening when people talk, but I'm not.
True. We have. I will say sometimes I'll listen to the playback and I'll be like, oh yeah, I missed that part or something. You know.
Oh, also, last time we were live, I had a long car ride and I was listening to the playback, and I was on, oh my gosh, 535. It's basically a street by Disney World. And I'm stopped at the red light. I'm listening to the playback. I had the windows down, sunroof open, and I'm laughing hysterically. And the car next to me was like, "Are you okay?" Because I guess they couldn't tell if I was like laughing, choking. They didn't know what was going on. So they were like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "No, I'm listening to this really funny podcast." But it was us. I was listening to the playback of
You
us.
should have told him. Listen to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on Apple and Spotify.
Yeah, I'm gonna get some bumper stickers made, and we're all gonna start representing on our cars.
Though that's cool, unless you get into like a road rage situation, and then somebody's like, "I want to hunt you fucking down, you 90 Day Fiance freak."
Oh, well, see, here's a weird story before we get into our topics. In Florida, all of the guys with like the pimped out cars, they have on their back windshield their Instagram handles.
Oh, really?
And I think it's the strangest thing because, like you just said, if you cut somebody off or you piss somebody off, everyone in Florida has like a legit gun.
Mm,
Like it's super easy to get one. You can carry it, you can take it into the wall, whatever. So it's weird that you would have like
mm,
where to find you
mm-hmm.
online, like on your car. I feel like that's the craziest thing to me.
Yeah, to me that's crazy because I'm a good driver and all that, but there's occasionally even the best driver will have like you'll cut someone off or you don't feel like waiting in a stop sign, so you just like go around a car and they honk at you when you go around them, or if a car's driving like 10 miles per hour and you like speed up and cut them off because they're going like so slow and then they honk at you, like that shit happens to the best of us, and then I don't want them knowing my at handle.
Yeah, you're right. I do some questionable things in my vehicle. Like for instance, you know how there's two turning lanes,
Mhm.
like to go left. Everyone will get in the first one. Like it's a tourist thing in Florida. Everyone will get in the first one, not the second one. So I'll drive on the shoulder and cut off all the other people in the one lane to go to the first lane. And people don't care for that. They think that I'm an a-hole, but I actually am just smarter because I know that there's two lanes and they don't.
Yeah, especially yeah, I agree. In Florida, especially, it's probably not a good idea to fuck around.
Well, you know, have you ever followed the page Only in Florida?
Mm,
Every road rage incident where somebody gets out and beats up someone or pulls a
mm,
gun, they're usually in Florida. Like every time you see those videos, those reels or TikToks, it's that happens here. So like when someone, okay, we gotta hurry up, but when someone cuts me off, instead of like flipping them off or honking, I just look away because I really don't want the smoke in this
mhm.
state. Like when I was in Ohio, I was an ass. I roll the window down, cuss people out, tell them to get out of the car, whatever. Here, I just look away. I act like they didn't cut me off. I act like I didn't just slam on the brakes. I act like they didn't try to end my
Mm.
life. Because if I push things, I'll probably die.
True.
I had when I first started driving, I made a paddle that I used to hold up, and it says "Sorry, new driver." And every time I used to do something shitty to somebody, and then we would put up at a light together, and they'll be cursing at me, I'll just hold up the paddle. It says "Sorry, new driver." Sorry, new driver.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I used to do that because I didn't like when you're a new driver, you kind of try to remember everything you're not supposed to do, but sometimes
Mhm.
your instinct, tells
Yeah,
you to
in a
do stuff.
moment,
Yeah.
you're right,
Instinct.
Captain. In a moment of panic, you
Yeah.
lose all of your training
Yeah.
and you do whatever pops into your head first,
In
which is usually
yeah, in
wrong.
an instinct, you'll decide, oh shit, that's my exit, and you'll zoom through three exits on the highway and get out.
Yes,
Like, yeah.
you're 100% right.
So
It's
I'm
that
like,
moment of
sorry,
panic.
new
Your
driver.
judgment is impaired in that
Like,
moment.
I have a random
Yeah.
question. Like, when Jasmine was in Panama, did she drive in Panama or what?
I doubt
She did.
she did.
She 100% did because her big complaint when she got to Canton was Gino wouldn't take her to get her license. And she was like, I was independent and I drove in
Mm.
Panama.
Yeah,
She drove
because
back and forth to
if
work.
you have a license in a different country, you can just transfer it over when you get to the States.
Oh my God, I had this conversation with some friends who are from the UK, and they told me that that only works with certain countries.
No, it does.
Some
It's
countries
like
you
that.
have to retake the
Mm-hmm.
test.
Because if
So,
you think about it, when you come visit the U.S. as a tourist and you rent a car, you go to and you say, well, I'm going to be here in the U.S. for 2 weeks. I need a car rental, and you rent a car. They rent it with your license. You don't have to have an American license to rent a car as a tourist. So they automatically flip over your license to when you come as a permanent resident, you can qualify. I'm not sure how some states run it, whether you got to take a test or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
but I know a lot of
it
it transfers
depends. Yeah,
over. I know a lot of it transfers
it
over.
depends on your state and where
Yeah,
you're
and
coming.
some states will make you take a test to see if you understand the roads in the U.S., but a lot of countries will just transfer it over to U.S.
Well, here, as a resident of Florida, I'll tell you, not one single person in this state knows how to drive a motor vehicle. So the line is very
Yeah.
low. So I've seen some things. I've seen like wrecks happen in front of me more times since I've been in this state than I have in my entire
Mm-hmm.
life. Like just people doing really idiotic things.
True.
But anyway, we got to get to some
Yeah, let's get
90
into
day
some top.
topics. Enough of this
Yeah.
craziness,
So do you
right?
want to start with Vanja, or do you want us to start with Riley, or?
Oh, let's start with
Yeah,
Riley
let's
because
yeah
this was
let's
actually,
congratulate Riley on his engagement.
yeah, this was a positive thing coming out of the 90-day universe because we're dealing with Gino and Jasmine sleeping with other people and wanting to sleep with other people. So this is actually positive.
Mm-hmm.
Riley is engaged to Lexi, and a lot of people didn't realize that when his season was airing, obviously him and what's her name,
Violet.
um,
Violet.
Violet were already broken up. And while his season was airing, believe it or not, he was already in a relationship with Lexi.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how weird that had to be for Lexi. She had to watch her man and then watch all these previews and comments about him and this other woman. They are engaged, which I'm really happy for them. I think that
Yeah,
he's been through a lot over the past couple of years
yeah.
since he's been on the show, and I'm just really happy that he found his person. And little did he know, he's known her almost like 20
I
something
was just gonna
years.
ask you, is she the one that's on his season, trying to convince him not to go with Violet or something? Do they feature
Oh,
her
that
on
wasn't
his season?
no, that wasn't her.
Okay.
That wasn't her. I can't remember her name now, but it wasn't her. That was
Oh,
one of his
okay.
really good friends.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
also he's known Lexi for like 20 something years.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been there all along.
Like,
They've always been close, and I'm just that's what they say. The person is always right in front of you.
Exactly.
You just have to realize it, and he realized it, and I'm happy for them.
like,
Congrats.
congratulations. But how do you know how they originally knew each other?
Well, as far as I know, they were both in the military.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly, and then he's always done business with her. Don't ask me what the business was, because
Mm-hmm.
when I first met her, he introduced her to me as his business partner.
Yeah, isn't she like into cigars and shit?
Yes. So I think they've always crossed paths in some
Mm-hmm.
professional way,
Yeah.
but nothing. You know how some people, like for instance, my sister, she met a guy in high school. They went to prom together. They broke up. 15 years went by. They never spoke, and then they met again and got married.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what happened. As far as I know, there was nothing intimate before this relationship started up.
True. And then
Mm.
I need to explain like what happened in the engagement video.
Well, I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the engagement video. Anybody got
Well,
that?
it was a big party.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of people there, and he gave a little speech,
Mm-hmm.
which was really nice.
Can
He
somebody
basically
post
was
that?
like, "There." I'm pretty sure we can get it, and I think 90 Day Fiance now also posted it, so we'll get it and we'll send it to you. He was in a room full of people, his closest friends and family, and he said there's no one in the room that he'd rather be with. Those are all the people that he loved, and he was like, "There's one person here that I want to spend the rest of my life with." It was really sweet. He actually got on one knee. It was actually really, really beautiful. So yeah, I'll send. I'm gonna look for the video now, actually, and try to send it to you.
True. Should we talk about Vanja now?
Yeah, yeah. So Vanja has released. Well, not Vanja. 90 Day Fiance has released what happened with her and Josko.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask you, Shabooty, because you basically said it was fluff. So, what do you feel about what really happened? Because honestly, I was a little surprised at the story. So, how do you feel about it?
I mean, you were surprised at the ending?
Well, yeah, I was surprised that it wasn't anything serious. Like I thought maybe he had a girlfriend, he was cheating, he was married.
N-
Like I had all these
No,
different.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like not just like I don't know. I feel like it panned out and played out exactly like I expected it to, which
Yeah, it was like
is
a just like a vacation fling.
yeah, it was just like a
I
little
didn't see it.
fling.
I didn't see it coming, but I kind of because after they started, that he came to visit her, I thought, well, okay, well maybe this is going on for another season. But then it just
Yeah.
bottomed out. But
No,
we didn't
yeah,
get to see it. Yeah,
I feel like if there was no cameras, he definitely wouldn't even like bother with the Florida trip. But I think with the excitement of the cameras and being on TV, he was all hopped up and stuff and excited. So then that's what inspired him to come to Florida and see her. They hung out. It was so fun, another weekend in Florida. But then at the end of the day, he had to go back home. And then when it's a long distance thing, it's like it's hard to make that work. And yeah, he has a kid to raise, and it just to me, it was ended up being just a little fling, and that's it. And
yeah.
that's
I saw the picture of the kid without even
Mhm.
seeing the kid's face. The kid looks like it's his son. You see the head shape, the
Mhm.
kid's head shape and everything. I was
Well,
like, okay, that looks like
that's the rumor.
his
Yeah.
biological son.
Yeah, that's the rumor. The rumor is he uses the line that okay,
Allegedly.
allegedly he uses the line that he
An
is
adopted
a
father.
foster father
Mhm.
Yeah.
instead of that he's an actual father. Because I think the foster word does it
It
has a
plays on the
little
heartstrings of
Yeah.
single
yeah,
women.
especially for a woman
Hmm.
because women are looking for a sensitive guy and a
Right,
sensitive guy is
right.
going to foster a child. So I definitely think that using that line that would be horrible by the way if he's doing
Hmm.
that, but
So
there are even
let's just say allegedly it's his biological son, then the mother must be attached to the whole situation as well.
I mean, somebody had to look over the kid when he was in Florida.
Exactly. Yeah, he might be still in the relationship with the mom, and this might have been a money grab for him to be
Yeah.
on TV and do a
Yeah,
money grab and stuff
because
like that.
just like typical like 90 Day fiance person,
Yeah.
he of course like his Instagram is like focused around fitness. So he's like, you know,
Yeah,
I didn't really look into it
the
if he's
producers
off.
probably plucked him out of there and said,
Yeah,
you know what, he's in the location and he's already in Croatia, so let's just holler at him and see if he wants
but
to play these couple episodes.
yeah, like I
Yeah.
didn't dive into his Instagram if he's like offering services like courses or training, online training or shit like that. Like I didn't look into it that much, but it wouldn't shock me if he's trying to like monetize his Instagram somehow.
yeah, I made a post the other day and I was like, why is it that every guy who's into fitness his occupation has to be a fitness trainer?
Hmm.
Like he can't be a lawyer, he can't be a doctor, he can't work at Walmart. If a guy goes to the gym more than 3 times a week, there's only one job opportunity for him, and it's being a fitness trainer. And my question is the market really in need of 1 million to a trillion fitness trainers, or are these guys just unemployed and don't want to be
That's
unemployed
exactly
and
what I
retire?
was going to tell you. These are a bunch of unemployed people that hang around the gym because they have nothing else to do. And they figure they'll say they're fitness trainers. Because if you tell a girl, I'm just unemployed, chances are going to be like, well, nobody wants an unemployed guy. So I'm a fitness trainer. Most of these guys that have been on 90 Day Fiance are from overseas are all fitness trainers. Look at
Hmm.
Adnan, the other one, the the
Oh, remember
the one that married the
well, Sarper.
Sarper.
Sarper, the one that married the old chick that she left the real cute guy, fuck, from Qatar or some shit like that.
Mhm.
Oh, you're talking about Aladdin.
Aladdin was a fitness
Yeah,
trainer.
he was a fitness trainer. Yeah,
Benny was
I
a
yeah.
mean,
fitness trainer.
and
It,
the person who's most famous for going to Planet Fitness to take showers is S. Scott.
oh,
Yes, and yeah, it's
I mean, when you live
he
in your
does
car, you gotta find somewhere to take a shower.
Mhm.
he does occasionally work though. I think the other fitness trainers they
Yeah,
don't occasionally work.
he works like 1 month out of the year, and then he's unemployed.
Yeah, he works for 1 month and then he like sets out his bat signal to let the world know that he worked a little bit.
Yeah,
So my next question: do you think? Okay, so I know we saw a little bit about this in Sarper and Shekinah's story. Do you think that men they only are fitness trainers so they can get women to have sex with them? Do you think that's the actual goal? Like, because I've watched people with fitness trainers on video. There's a lot of touching.
Mhm.
There's a lot of chemistry. There's a lot of closeness. Do you think that these men are going to the gym 17 hours a day just so they can get women to pay them to bang them? Is that basically what this is?
Well,
I mean, I mean, it depends. Like overseas, it's a way of hooking a foreigner. Look at Johan. Johan was doing fitness training at the resort as well.
Yeah.
So
like
this is a way to get foreigners to
yeah,
to bring you over.
like the George, the way I kind of this may not be exactly explaining or answering your question, but the way I one thing you should consider is like when you watch like Bachelorette and all the contestants are like these guys who have like six pack abs and they're look like Adonises and
Yeah.
they're like and then they obviously work out a lot and then you ask them like what their occupation is and then they say like real estate agent or something, but really they like don't really have a job, but literally all they do is like they're in the gym 24/7. But at the same time, it's like there's no way to have a career, a legitimate career, and also look like those guys that are on Bachelorette. So it's like one or the other.
Well,
You're not going to be a
that's true.
lawyer with like a six pack, and then
Well,
or
that's
you're
true.
going to have a six pack and you're not going to have a legitimate career. So it's like pick your poison.
That's true. You know what? I've never met. Well, not that I'm looking, but I've never seen like a person on TV that was like a lawyer, a doctor, a judge, a Supreme Court justice that was a six pack Adonis looking guy. You're right. When you have a real job that requires
Hmm.
work, you can't go to the gym for 17 hours a day. You actually have to dedicate something to that job. Otherwise, you're going to get fired. So you're right. In order to look perfect, per se, you have to actually give up any other
Hmm.
hobbies. I think the only hobbies fitness trainers have are working out and having sex and
Yeah,
meal prepping,
exactly.
right? Just meal
Yeah.
prepping. That's all they really do.
True.
Show you. I think it's also with the younger generation of men that you see doing that now. The older guys that have careers, they'll look good physically, but not like six pack abs, because you actually
See,
have
I think
careers.
you're a
It's
hundred
these
percent
young
right.
guys
I
that
think,
don't have a career, not in college, and not doing shit that have these chiseled abs all the time.
Hmm.
but I think you're right because I think that there used to be a time where it didn't matter how men looked. um it didn't matter as long as you were a guy you would get a woman, but I feel like there was a shift, and now you know how women were always obsessed with the way they look. I feel like the shift shifted to guys, and sometimes I feel like guys are putting more into their looks than women nowadays, and it's kind of
Hmm.
scary, right? Because it's like women are spending less time on the makeup and the fake hair and the body
Yeah, and
shaping,
you got
or
these guys now with the spray on beards, the little thing spraying
yes,
on the
the
hair. Yeah, they're doing
toupees.
the spray on
Yeah,
beard stuff, like filling
Hmm.
in the blank spots of the beard with that mulch type thing that looks like fake hair. You're getting a lot of
that's
that. I'm
scary
seeing a lot
because
of that.
now I remember when men used to be like posting and they were like, I pick up this girl from the club, and then we woke up the next morning and I didn't recognize her. And I feel like women are probably experiencing that exact same
Hmm.
phenomenon. They pick up this guy at the club, he looks like an Adonis, and then they get to the hotel the next morning after they wake up and she looks over and she's like, holy shit,
And you know what? Quiet as it's kept, a lot of men are heading towards the plastic surgery industry as well, like heading that
Hmm.
way to get their little
You're right.
liposuction on their love handles and get those ab implants and stuff like that, calf implants. A lot of people are doing that, but men, it's since it's not really out there for men,
Hmm.
everybody thinks it's just women getting BBLs. Men are flying under the
Nah,
radar in the plastic industry
Hmm.
area.
they
They're
Yeah,
are.
I mean,
flying under the
as
radar.
That is
Scott got
so
his upper
crazy.
lip fixed. Congratulations.
He did.
Oh,
He did. It looks good,
Mm.
right? I feel like
I
it looks
don't think
good.
he looks any different than he's always looked. I guess just
Well,
because,
like he fixed that one issue, but then now he's all like, I don't really have any lips, though.
uh,
I don't know. And
What
then,
Yeah.
I had saw somewhere. I don't know if you guys saw it. A post somewhere that he said that he was gonna come to New York and camp out in front of TLC's headquarters until
mhm.
they rehired him. Did you guys
we,
see
we,
that he was gonna sleep
yeah,
outside in front of the?
we talked about that one episode one
Oh,
Friday.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, we did. We talked
That
about
he
that.
was just
Yeah,
gonna
he
camp
definitely said
out
it.
and wait until they hired, like take no for. He wasn't taking no
And
for an answer.
Cap, that's not even the half of it. He was posting photos of Matt Sharp.
Oh,
Yeah, it went a little even farther than that. Yeah, we
I must
talked
have
about it.
missed
He
that
was
day.
posting.
I was
Yeah.
absent that day.
Yeah, it was. I think it was one of the weeks we didn't have
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he kind of went crazy. It was just Spitfire posts with him that week. He was like, "I'm apologizing to Sharp, and I'm ready to talk about coming back, and I'm gonna camp outside the studio." And then he was like, he was posting pictures of Matt Sharp and telling people, "If you see this man, tell him that I'm ready to be back on his network." Like it was that whole
It
weekend
was
was
like
just crazy.
restraining order.
Right.
Restraining order.
Yeah, I mean,
He was treading on restraining order territory.
Yeah.
yes. Basically, I mean, saying that you're going to sleep outside someone's
Yeah,
job, that is, you're treading very lightly on that
yeah.
territory. And then posting photos of them saying, "Tell me where this person
Mhm.
is."
Oh,
That's treading a fine line. That's a very fine
yeah.
line. The police do not take that lightly.
Exactly,
When
exactly.
they see stuff like that, they're like, "No, this is
That's not
not
okay.
fun and
That's
games.
not
It's
Mhm.
not
this
funny."
person is
Yeah.
Yeah.
unhinged, is becoming unhinged. Yeah.
Yeah, like I ran a little poll on my Instagram of like, I basically asked because I always get sent Scott stuff, and I said, should I make a New Year's resolution to tell fans to stop sending me Scott tea? And the results were 64% said yes, stop, and 36% said no, don't stop. So
Oh, 36% are still
Well,
interested. Oh,
the
still
one,
36% that are probably still interested are the ones that want you to break the story when shit really hits the fan.
Well, of course, we're gonna break a breaking news story, something
yeah,
crazy. But if it's just him
yeah.
posting something weird, oh, speaking of a fan, if you're in here, shout out. Thanks for sending it to me. He just got to New York. I don't know if you guys have been following his post. You probably haven't. He's in New York, and I guess he's working a job in New York. And within a day or so, he was already on Facebook dating,
Mhm.
and someone has sent me screenshots of his profile. So unfortunately, I'm sorry for the a percentage of people who said absolutely stop. But I just wanted to bring up he was instantly on the profile. It said single, obviously, because I know he posted he was engaged last
What?
week.
He was
He's
No,
engaged last week?
that was like a, and I don't know if it was a paper ring, but it was some bullshit.
It was
Yeah.
paper. Yeah, it was a paper towel.
Mhm.
So yeah, everyone's like, "Oh, I thought he was engaged," and I was like, "So you believe things that he posts?" But yeah, he automatically posted he was in New York, and it's funny. He's so fast. Like when you move to another state for work, I would feel like I would need to unpack, set up my
Mhm.
house. The first thing he did was set up a Facebook dating profile. I think that says a lot.
Well, I mean, he's
Mhm.
like a gypsy. He doesn't stay in one place very long.
Uh,
So,
I mean, he
But why can't he just keep a girl for more than a few
well,
days?
he
Like
show
what's up with
because
that?
they see right through him after the first date. I don't
yeah.
think that kind of crazy he can keep a lid on it. And
Mhm.
he probably starts going off about how he was a movie star, and then they do the little Google search and they see that he's a nut job. You
Yeah,
know?
he's like the male. His
Yeah,
fan
that's
base is like the male Angela because he has these weirdo female fans.
Yeah,
Yeah, they definitely love him. I've seen the
yeah.
posts. Oh wait, somebody just sent me something from Scott just now. I'm not even making it
Mhm.
up. I'm not gonna look at it right
Sure.
now because
Oh
we're
yeah,
not
let's all
talking
right.
about
Let's
Scott
forget
anymore.
Scott.
We're not talking about Scott. Oh, also, Yoshiko and Vanja met on Tinder. That was
Right,
also in
Tinder.
the video. I forgot to
Mhm.
mention that. So it was a Tinder, which is a hookup app. It wasn't on Hinge, guys. It wasn't on eHarmony or
No, no,
Christian
she
Meets.
said.
So I
Well,
don't know
she said
why.
when she was out there in Croatia that well, she didn't say Tinder, but she said she was looking for some guys in the area. That could only mean Tinder because Tinder's like universal, so that can only mean one
Mhm.
thing that she hopped on an app. But I think that he was tossed in there by producers. You know, the big body, muscular. You know, such a contrast to
Yeah.
to Bozo, such a contrast to that. So everybody was because
Yep.
you know you don't think about the fans, the Twitter
Mhm.
people. We are what encourage the producers to make moves. Remember how we were all saying, "Oh, she should have fun. She shouldn't waste her time. You know, her week, and she shouldn't be sad. She should find somebody else." And then next episode, boom, Vanja finds another guy. Remember how we kept pushing for that? That oh, I hope she finds
Yeah.
somebody. Oh, remember we were even saying the three guys that were Bozo's friends were like, oh, she should hook up with one of them because she had like a week left
Mhm.
in Croatia. And then next episode, here goes Vanja with a date. You know what I'm saying? And then
Mhm.
so I feel like they listen to a lot of the stuff we say.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he certainly wasn't shy about like disrobing
Yeah,
on camera.
and then they didn't get him. They didn't pick her some just any old Joe Schmo. They got her this big, you know, chiseled body dude. and he was all forward and telling her about his his
His
lawyers,
hard on.
his hard on, how he was hard and it was this and it was that. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
they threw him in there because also they don't want to take their person over there. The producers don't want to be responsible if the cast member has a random hookup and ends up in a situation that's dangerous. So they vet whoever they're gonna put on there as her hookup.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think his line was this is a joke by the way, but his line was Vanja, sit on my lap and let's talk about the first thing that pops up.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's exactly
the
what it was.
producers vet
And
them because imagine if something happens to Vanja goes on Tinder and she ends up missing or something.
Hmm.
So those are all vetted
well,
people.
yeah, and they knew who he was.
Yeah,
Like in
of
order for
course.
him to be filmed, they had to sign. He had to sign an NDA, and
Exactly,
he had to
exactly.
go through the background check. So they knew. So if she disappeared, they knew where to
They
look. You know, like
they handpicked him. They handpicked him. They said we're gonna throw you in there and say she met you on Tinder.
Hmm.
yeah,
They probably
I
did a
think that's what they
casting
did.
for them too. Because remember
Oh, they
we were
also.
saying that she should hook up with the tall guy. Remember Bozo's friend? He had the tallest guy, the real
Hmm.
tall one. We're like, oh, she should climb that mountain, this and that. So they found somebody to look like that tall and everything. That's my theory.
I mean,
Yeah,
like I don't know what the deal is in that. It was it Bosnia or Croatia?
Croatia.
Croatia.
Okay,
She was originally from
She's
okay, yeah,
Bosnia.
originally from
Croatia.
Bosnia.
But like I assume Croatia, like TLC or whatever, is powerful enough where they go to like the tourist board or the tourist group or whatever and say, hey, like find us like a hunk for our television show we're filming, and the tourist board or whatever will be like, yeah, sure, we're gonna get right on that because we want to be featured on television, so people come visit us as tourists will come visit our country.
So women can flock over here
Yeah,
looking for Bosco's, whatever his name is.
yeah, so they can get that like the Croatian Sanky
Ex-
Panky.
yeah, the Croatian Sanky Panky experience.
Yeah,
Then you
exactly.
probably go
Yeah,
to one of the resorts and look for fitness trainers like they did with Johan.
Yeah, it's good for tourism.
yeah.
Yeah.
They hang out at the resorts. They're these guys know what they're doing. They spend 100 hours in the gym, and then they go
They
to the
they
nicest
they work
resort
at
in town.
resorts, yeah, or they hang out
Yeah,
and they
and
hang
take
out
off their.
resorts on their day off or whatever. On the weekend, the resorts in these countries, I know, like from in DR, on the weekends, the resorts open up to the public for like a day pass. They give
Mhm.
the regular, like the people who live in the country, they give them a day pass for, like, let's say $50 American. If you live in DR, like $50 American, you get to spend the entire day from 8 o'clock in the morning maybe till 6 o'clock in the evening at the resort, and that includes the food and everything, the drinks. So on the weekends they probably give these people, the resorts sell out day passes, and that's when all
Mhm.
the people come in and mingle with the tourists.
Oh, and then but they can't. Was there a night pass?
Well, I mean, if you can
Well, no,
extend your stuff, but they make it affordable for the
you sleep
natives.
in the room. You sleep in the room of the girl that's
Yeah,
staying
with the
there.
staying there,
True.
they open
Yeah,
it up to the natives so that they can get a
Hmm.
chance to intermingle with
Yeah.
the tourists, and that's how a lot
Yeah.
of these guys land. These
Uh,
Americans and foreigners.
yeah. The day pass is to introduce the tourists to the Yammy
So
Pass.
exactly to the no
yeah,
to
exactly.
the exclusive experience.
Yeah.
And that raises this question: are women getting shallower? Like, why is it? Because we've been watching the show, and it seems like the more chiseled the guy is, the more the woman is like getting played by the guy. Are women like being sold on these weird fantasies of a chiseled Adonis-looking
I
guy?
mean,
Because
the,
we're seeing it so much
the
lately.
way the women's panties drop, like panties, like electronic panties drop for Sean from 90 Day Fiance. Yeah, they're very shallow.
Well, that's my thing because it's like Sean doesn't have a job, right? He didn't have a job. He wasn't looking for one. He was living with his mom. But the tattoos and the body, the women were like, I can fix him. Like,
Mhm.
that's not an issue. I'll just get a second job. No, so I'm like, are women getting shallower? Because I remember there was a time 10 years ago when if a man didn't have a job, a woman wouldn't even ask. Like, if a man was like, hey, what's your number? And he
Mhm.
didn't have a job, she would literally just walk away. And now we've gotten to this place now where as long as he has a six pack,
Mhm.
Well,
he doesn't have to be employed. He
you
can
gotta
live with.
look at the women who are hooking up with these chiseled men. They're usually older women, that want to have that boy toy fantasy, that arm candy fantasy. So that's why we're getting that influx of all these hard chiseled
Mhm.
bodies with these older looking women. Because I mean, I'm not gonna shame anybody for what the way they look, but if you see in the past, we were talking about the guy. What was his name? I keep forgetting, from Qatar, that he was with
Oh, Aladdin. He was with
Aladdin,
Laura.
with Aladdin and Laura. Aladdin was, I mean, he was gorgeous. He was gorgeous. So you see Aladdin and then you see Laura,
Mhm.
and you're like, damn, this is a possibility that I can go to Qatar and get me a man this hot. That's a fitness instructor with these chiseled abs. So that's a
Mhm.
lot what you're seeing. I mean, Stacy, she's a lot older than Florian, and she's botched from head to toe. So that's another reason why she's with this guy, because that's arm candy, makes her look good. A
Mhm.
lot of these relationships are not realistically, matched up if you think about it.
Like, can I
Yeah,
crowbar in a question to Captain?
yeah.
Which is it's not 90 Day, but it's Love After Lockup. Like the guy you tweeted about earlier, Captain, you said Dollar Tree Jake Paul has these
Oh,
two fools believe
yeah,
in his bullshit. So
yeah.
my question to you, I forget his real name, but the Dollar Tree
Hunter,
Jake
Hunter,
Hunter.
Hunter.
So it's my question to you is Hunter hot?
I don't think. I mean, he's not ugly. He's not an ugly looking guy,
Hmm.
but to them,
But is he hot enough to have two
because
girls?
look at one girl, look at the two contrasts of the women he has.
Hmm.
You know, the
And,
one that
and,
he supposedly started off with is Kate. She's a yoga instructor and does this and does that and the third, and then he has Kaylee, who's a weightlifter. And she does this and so the two women are contrast, and both of them. One of them doesn't seem to want the attention as bad as the other, which is Kaylee, that wants the attention more than Kate.
and for the people that don't know who I'm talking about, I just retweeted Jean-Luc Picard's tweet that calls him Dollar Tree Jake Paul.
Doesn't he look
So
like Dollar Tree Jake Paul though?
yeah, he does.
He does.
Well, when I was watching the show, the first thing that I thought, because when the couples come on, they show a photo of like the people, like the
Yeah.
girls and him. He doesn't look like his photo, and I was like, oh wow, he looks like nothing like the
Yeah, because they
photo.
usually show
So
you
I
when
was
he
like,
got arrested photo, you know?
yeah, because he kind of looks like a homeless
Yeah,
person now.
yeah.
Because I was like, but the girls seem to still be fine with what they're working with, and that shocked me too. Because I was like, okay, I can see from his
Yeah, but
his booking photo, or whatever photo
if
that.
you look at the Kaylee's photos, you could tell they photoshopped. They
Oh yeah,
they are
she
filtered.
filters the fuck out of her
They are
photos.
filtered to hell. And some people were telling me, well, he met her already in person, which is a lie. Some people were saying that they had conjugal visits, so he already knows that she's a bigger girl, and the way
Mhm.
that her filtered pictures look nothing like her real picture, like her real face. But then someone else refuted and said those are online lies. They have not met in person,
You know, she uses that filter. I don't
and
know
she
what it's
uses a
called,
filter when she
but
talks to him.
yeah, like I don't know what the filter name is, but she uses that filter. It's
Wait, there's a filter that you can use like while you're FaceTiming someone? That's a
I
thing?
know on Snapchat
Yeah,
it has it, but
Oh,
something
see, I
along
don't
those
use
lines.
Snapchat. I didn't
There's
know
something
that.
yeah.
along those lines that the person doesn't really like. Like you can filter the picture while your image while you're
Mhm.
talking. I haven't gone
Yeah.
that far into the rabbit hole of filters, but
Yeah. But
I've heard that exists.
yeah, I don't know the name of her filter, but she uses that filter that like makes you almost look like a Disney princess. Like it makes your eyes like have this like it almost like puts like makeup on your eyes, like
Yeah,
eyeliner,
yeah.
eyeshadow.
Remember Rebecca used to use it a lot
Yeah,
too. Rebecca and Zied,
yeah, yeah.
when she used to talk to Ziad, and a lot of these prison phone calls, not like you don't have that much. You can get like one FaceTime phone call, and then you run out of money, so the rest of the phone calls are just regular phone calls. They're not FaceTime.
Hmm.
So that plays a lot into it. But I'm sure he hasn't really seen Kaylee, because he seems like a shallow enough person to that not be his cup of tea.
True.
That's so interesting because I feel like he's not all that. So the fact that he could be, I don't know, when I saw what he really looked like, and I was just like, oh wow, this is the guy that has two girls fighting over him. And I was shocked. I was like, ladies, what's going on? I need somebody to explain to me why this is happening. There's enough men in the world that you don't got to be
And,
fighting over
and
this
enough
relationship.
men in prison. Because that's what, if you really want a man in prison, you just got to go on the prison pen pal site.
Yeah. Do you want me to read some comments real quick?
Okay.
Yeah, let's get
From
some
our
comments in.
listeners. Jenny with the pineapple avatar, she says, well, I'm not shallow, laugh out loud, and most of the guys don't do anything for me, especially since I prefer bigger guys, parentheses, heavy set, but Sean just hits different. But laugh out loud. But for me, it's probably the tattoos. I don't like his veneers, but he is fire.
Yeah.
Also, it's less about abs, more about tattoos. So I
Yeah.
think
The
that
bad
that could
boy
be a thing because
tattoo, the bad boy look.
a lot of women that might be married or were married or have grown kids, that thought of having, and they probably married a square guy,
Mhm.
right, and they were married to a square guy, the idea of a guy with a tattoo on his
And his neck
face,
and shit.
that
On his
probably is
neck.
very exciting,
Mhm.
right? Can you imagine a woman who raised a bunch of kids and she's always been straight edge, her husband went to work every day, lived a normal life, and then she sees a guy with a tattoo on his face? Like, I can imagine that's pretty crazy.
Yeah,
True.
it's like midlife crisis for men who marry younger than their wives. Big titty chicks, blondes, nice curves. That's the same thing as the
Yeah, it's
women.
kind of
Yeah.
like how men used to get a convertible.
Yeah.
Women
Yeah.
are getting a boy toy. Like, that's kind of
Yeah,
like the
that's the
reverse
new
of
that's the
it.
new midlife crisis for women.
Yeah,
Tattoos,
instead of a Birkin bag, she wants a dude with a
neck
tattoo on
tattoos,
his
and a
face.
six pack.
Oh, and then there's another comment about Sean from someone else. And it says, for Sean, I think they like the accent and that he's got a girl daughter. Some women eat that up.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even factor in the
Yeah,
accent. That's true.
yeah, also the accent, because
Yeah, you're right. Women have always said, when there's like, I think there was like a top 10 list of turn-ons for women, and I think accent
the
landed in the
accent,
top
Mm,
5.
yeah,
Yeah, and you're right. And I think accent probably goes over abs.
yeah,
Women have always said a guy with an accent is just a, so he could be ugly, and women will still be like,
yeah,
that accent is something that they can't get
yes,
past.
yes, the accent it'll blind you, I have a few on my fan wheel that I was just thinking about right now as you were saying accent.
So, Captain, who's a celebrity man that has an accent that just works for you? Is there anybody that you just are like, oh, you can listen to that guy talk all
Idris
night?
Elba.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know
I
exactly who
want
that
My
is.
dream
Yeah,
is to
I've
be
heard of him.
sandwiched between Idris Elba and Charlie Hunnam from Sons of
mhm.
Anarchy.
Well, oh, that's the guy who I was going to say looks like the guy from Love After Lockup.
while Tom Hardy
Oh, that's the
while Tom
guy.
Hardy watches.
Wait, Tom
Tom
Hardy.
Hardy.
He doesn't even play. Wait,
Tom
Tom.
Hardy's the
Oh,
guy
wait,
that
I'm
played
thinking of
Venom.
Tom.
Yeah, Tom Hardy.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm thinking of Tom
Those
Daly.
are
Okay,
my
yeah,
three.
yeah.
And Tom Hardy has an accent, and so does Idris. And Charlie Hunnam turns his on and off, so it can go.
See, I think it's interesting how vastly different those men are.
It's a
So
small,
it
medium, and
definitely shows you
large.
how. Yeah, yeah, it's
It's because
crazy because they're
yeah,
so
because
vastly
Tom Hardy's
different.
short and Idris is tall.
So you need like a
Yeah,
variety of,
just
so if you could build the perfect man, it would be
those
those
three.
three men
Yes,
pushed into one.
those
Oh,
three.
okay, I got it. Okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
Let's see. All right, do you want to read some more comments real quick?
go ahead.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah. Let's get
says,
more
this
comments.
is just, I'm gonna read it. If I was single, I'd be going to these resorts for funsy, just not bringing them back with me. Um, Someone said, Vanja and Josko, or whatever, were too good to be true. Agreed, Captain Picard, especially since Vanja said he had to sign an NDA, etc. Like, seriously, how do you coerce someone so quick, especially someone that's not in the United States? Um, Someone says, I wonder if he left her after he saw her in the United States. That's what it seems like. I feel like after he had the fun in Florida, he was done with her. Um,
I mean, yeah, maybe he was done with the
Mhm.
fling because a
Yeah,
fling can
yeah. You
last
bang
one
him.
night,
You bang him in
one
your country.
month.
You bang him in their country, and then you go home and live your separate lives.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
and
probably had his own life as well, or he was just doing it for the money, like for the check
Mhm.
and the chance to travel. He didn't have.
and he got to go. He got to bang her and go to the Magic Kingdom, and then he could go
Yeah, and he
back and
went
say
to
he did all.
Disney and he
Yeah.
You know?
bought his son a couple of Mickey ears and shit like that, a
Yeah.
T-shirt, and then he went back home.
Uh,
I'm dying to see this Sunday's episode to see exactly what happened between, like how did it all come apart. You know?
Well, they posted a spoiler video. The 90 Day Fiance account posted a spoiler video, and it basically was he just stopped texting her, and then she reached out and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" After he left, and he was like, "I just can't be with you. I have a foster son or whatever," and that was it. Like there was no real. Because remember, I thought maybe he had a
Mhm.
wife or he had a girlfriend, and this was just an
Yeah,
opportunity.
yeah,
That's not what he said. Again, he could still have a woman in his life because he was in
yeah. Of course,
Florida for I think 10 days.
of course,
Who's watching this
of
kid?
course.
So
I
it
find
could
it
easily be.
strange. I mean, I don't know how it works in these Eastern European countries. I find it strange that they don't give a foster child to a single man. You know, like to
Well,
sing. They
I
usually don't
heard
give
that.
foster children to single people. Usually, you have to have
Mhm.
a two parent relationship. You know, like a marriage or
Mhm.
whatever,
Well,
whether
yeah,
same sex or not same sex, but a two-person
and then they
couple.
make you go through lots and lots of interviews, and you have
Very
people in.
rigorous interviews to give a single man who obviously has no job. He's a personal trainer to hand him over a child.
Mhm.
I don't.
Yeah,
It
it
doesn't.
raises some
It
red.
raises some red.
Yeah,
It
it
doesn't make
raises some
sense. It
red
doesn't make
flags.
sense at all. No matter how
Yeah.
war
You're right,
torn,
but
no matter how war torn the country is, it just doesn't make sense.
By the way, you know who else was like the fitness instructor? Which was I think it was Rishi was a fitness
Rishi
instructor.
was a fitness instructor.
yes,
Also, the other
yes.
guy, that he was with, was her name Ashley. That he had the really big eyes. That he was from Australia. The Australia. What was his name?
Oh, the guy with
With the really big eyes.
he had
Oh, Ash,
Graves
Ash,
disease.
Ash, Ash.
Ash
Yeah,
with the
Ash.
Graves
had
disease.
Yes,
had Graves'
yeah.
disease.
He was. Yeah, you're right. He was. I think a fitness
And then
trainer, and
and
then
a
he was
life
also like a life coach.
A
yeah.
motivational speaker
Yeah.
No,
type.
no, he wasn't a life coach. He was a relationship coach. Remember,
Yes, you're right. A
a
relationship
relationship
expert. You're right,
expert. But he was
and he
also a
taught,
personal trainer.
and all he did was teach women why they couldn't fall in love. I
Yes.
do remember because they showed
Remember
one
that
of.
seminar he did?
Yeah, that
I
was cringe
do.
as fuck.
It was cringe as
I
fuck. Oh
do.
my god. Oh my god.
It didn't blow over
It
well.
didn't.
It
It
didn't blow over
didn't.
well. It was basically, and I looked at it as what these fitness trainers do. They just are looking. It's a way to meet
We
women,
tore
Mhm.
his
right?
ass
You get a
up
bunch because
after that.
the idea that he only accepted women
Right,
into the
right,
seminar raised red
right,
flags for me because I was like, if you
right.
want to help people in relationships, then you could help men. You're a man. You have an
He was
experience from
only
your point of
coaching
view.
women on how to keep a relationship, and they all had his personal
Yes.
number and all that other shit.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I think it's exactly what these coaches do. They
Yeah,
want women on speed dial, and but they also want to get paid while they're banging them, so they have to teach them how to work out. Because you know what's funny? I've been to the gym before. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm an anti-gym person. I never paid anyone to teach me how to work
me
out.
either.
Mhm.
Right?
Me either.
I usually would go in and I would look at the person on the machine next to me
Exactly,
for a couple of
exactly,
seconds and see what they were doing, and then I was good to go. I didn't need to pay somebody $80 an hour to teach me how to walk or run on a treadmill.
exactly.
Mhm.
So I think it's really questionable that so many women do that, and I think it is like a hookup thing. I think
Yeah,
women
look
like a
on
really
Mhm.
good.
Love After Lockup. The guy that he works at the pizza shop, but also what's his name
Oh yeah,
with the girl
I know
with
you're talking
the
about the one with the chick that got the nose
yeah,
job.
with the big nose. He's a fitness instructor.
Oh
You
Yeah,
yeah.
saw him
yeah,
doing his
he's doing
fitness
fitness shit too.
instructing. He was rubbing up and down on that lady
Hmm.
in the video that he showed him doing fitness instructing. I think it's a way
Yeah.
of single ladies or bored housewives to, feel a
Hmm.
little bit of spark in
Yeah.
their relationship.
you
Yeah.
can you can buy a treadmill and they'll deliver it to your house and you can work out at home.
Yeah.
I think it's the idea that a hot guy who's younger than you probably is gonna teach you and touch
Mhm.
your back and touch the small of your back
Yeah.
and tell you how good you're
And
doing.
for
I
the
Yeah.
think
right
it's
and,
a
and for
little
the
more
right price,
intimidating.
they might come home and touch other areas.
You know,
See,
I,
that's where I was going, Captain. I was like, how many of these
Hmm.
fitness instructors do you think are actually escorts? That
Exactly.
was my
Of
no,
next
well,
course.
question.
Of
I,
course.
I'm sure there's more than one, but like, there's one chick that I knew back in the day, and she got knocked up by her personal trainer.
Wait, for real?
Yeah.
Was she married?
No.
Oh, okay, but she got knocked up by her trainer.
Yeah.
But they weren't even dating, right? They were just hooking up because I'm assuming you
There,
don't date your
there's a
trainer.
there's a Congress, was it Congresswoman that cheated on her husband a couple times with her gym instructor.
Are you talking about the one that looks like Hulk Hogan?
Yeah,
Marjorie Taylor Greene or some shit?
yeah, she keeps cheating on her
Wait,
husband with her
she looks
fitness
like Hulk
instructor.
Hogan.
If
What?
Coco if Coco was here, she would laugh. But
Wait,
Yeah,
she really looks
no,
like
well,
Hulk Hogan. That's
you've never seen MTG?
yeah,
no. Tell me
MT
her name again. I'm gonna
MTG,
Google
yeah,
it.
MTG,
Marjorie Taylor
yeah,
Greene. She's like
yeah.
she's like yoked out and shit, and she's crazy.
Marjorie
B,
Taylor Greene.
what
Please,
are they calling her?
where is she?
B6.
Oh, I see her. Okay. I
She
was
Well, they,
like, please don't let her
well,
looks
be from
like a
well,
Florida.
they're
Please don't
just
professional.
let
She
her
looks
be
like
from
a
Florida.
professional wrestler.
yeah, they're just saying that women cheat with their personal trainers all the time. Women cheat
No,
with their
yeah. Oh,
personal
she's
trainers.
50 years old. She's 50. I wonder how old this guy was.
Mm-hmm.
She cheated twice, I think, with her personal trainer, her gym buddy, some shit like that.
Shoot, no, you're right. I've heard that too.
People do that all the time. Women do that all the time.
Easy.
And then there's trainers that come to your house because you don't want to go to the gym because you feel so you get your trainer to come to the house, like a masseuse comes to your house.
Okay. I think that okay, so I think we're at the point where I'm gonna go ahead and call it. I think that fitness coach is another word for escort.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're there. I think we've got to that point. I think that these men know what they're doing, and these women. I think everyone is willing in this situation. I don't think anybody is getting caught up in something they don't realize they're doing. I think all parties are willing, but I think that's what it is. So if you're married right now and your husband or your
Hmm.
wife is spending a lot of time at the gym and they're paying an
Well,
instructor,
yeah,
check their phone. Check their phone, guys, because something's going on.
exactly.
You never hear men going to the gym and their women and their fitness instructor is a woman.
Never. I've never heard it in
You
my
never
life
heard of that,
because,
right?
and I hate to say this, but men tend to know how to. Like I said, I went to the gym and there were machines that I hadn't seen before, but I just watched other people
Yeah, that's what I do.
and
I look through the
I figured
corner
it
of
out.
my eye when they're using it, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to use it next. Now I know how to do it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. You don't want to like be staring at people at the gym, so you'll like go fill up your water bottle and you'll look and you're like, okay, so they pulled this thing out and it stopped, and you'll take some
Yeah.
notes so you don't get on there and then turn it
And then
on and
you
then you
fall.
fly off the machine, break
Exactly,
your neck.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I never paid anyone $80 an hour to teach me how to push start on the machine. I've never done it.
Mhm. And not to like backtrack too much, but as far as men getting procedures, beauty procedures, another comment was this is from Jenny. Yeah, especially David. David from David and Annie. He's had almost more cosmetic procedures than Darcy and Stacy.
Oh my god, that is so true.
Yeah.
And it all started with his hair plugs,
Yeah.
and then it is just went crazy. He get his eyebrows. He's gotten
Yeah,
Botox.
but
You're right.
Annie has
David
also
is
had her
definitely
with her eyes opened up. She opened up her eyes and she did another procedure there. I think it was they got veneers. I think that there's a certain plastic surgery clinic that gives 90-day participants a discount because it's like
Mhm.
a trend.
yeah,
Every single other person has had cosmetic procedures.
Well, yeah, a lot of them go to the
yeah.
same guy that Angela went to and Yara went to, the African guy.
Yeah, he's pretty popular. They definitely get a repeat customer discount from him. He's very popular. And there's a guy in Miami that a lot of them use too. Loren utilizes this guy a lot. They come down to Miami and get it done. So Darcy and Stacy go to
Yeah,
Turkey
Turkey.
for most of their major
Yeah.
procedures, but when they're just getting
Well,
their
they go to
Botox and
Turkey
their fillers,
because foreign countries have no boundaries when it comes to plastic surgery. They'll do anything you want them to do. But here in the United States, there's guidelines and that they got to follow, and there's certain things that they can't do, and then they send you for psychological therapy to make sure you don't have body dysmorphia. Here in
Mhm.
the US, they have all that. But in Turkey, they don't send you to a therapist if you want to, your boobs a size triple G or some shit like that. They just fill them up.
Ba-
Yeah, they just fill them up
Basically.
for you.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. You go to these places where they don't.
Oh, speaking of Darcy and Stacy, I just wanted to bring up Darcy posted 2 weeks ago she was single, and then a
Darcy.
photo surfaced
Oh,
the other
Darcy,
day.
Darcy. Yeah,
Yeah,
Darcy.
Darcy,
Yeah,
not
Darcy.
Stacy, Darcy. She said her single era had began. I reposted on my story. This is a couple weeks ago. A photo surfaced the other day that was taken in Miami, literally on New Year's, with Darcy, Florian, and Stacy and Georgie, and then their lawyer. I can't remember the lawyer's name. They were all together and looked happy as hell. So whatever Darcy is trying to sell y'all, I'm assuming it's for a show coming up. She's
Oh,
not.
okay.
I don't think she'll ever break up with Georgie, and I've got that feeling because he's cheated on her.
Wasn't Georgie a personal trainer too?
That's exact. Well, he was a model and a fitness trainer.
And
But
yeah,
have you ever
yeah,
seen
yeah.
Georgie? Have you ever seen Georgie modeling before? I haven't. He was a fitness trainer.
Mm.
Oh, fitness trainer. Another fitness
Yeah,
trainer.
that's just again. This is just what guys say they do when they don't do anything at
But they
all.
don't
I
Yeah,
think
do
that's
except be
that's kind of
anything.
hot.
what.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like the new trend. Being a kept man is like a guy's dream. Like
Mm.
remember, like when my parents were growing up, you would get married, you would get you a wife, and your wife would stay home and take care of everything, and then you would go to work. Men, it's shifted now. The guys in this generation are like, I want to get me this rich lady so I can just go to the gym and spend
Yeah,
her money.
sugar mamas.
And it's like
Sugar
this,
mamas
yeah.
are all the fad. It's like having a little poodle.
That's
Remember when the poodle fad? Everybody had a little dog on their arm.
Mm.
yes,
That all the celebrities
yeah.
had like
Now,
these little tiny dogs everywhere they went, and then the other fad was adopting children from disadvantaged countries. All the
yeah, from
celebrities,
Cambodia,
yeah,
yeah,
like
yeah,
Angelina, she went to every single third world country and adopted a child.
Mm.
That's the new fad
yeah.
now.
And,
Everybody, all the celebrities are dating young guys.
oh, and then in the comment section it says, "Wasn't Georgie a masseuse as well?"
Oh yeah, he did some shit. He just didn't have a 9 to 5.
Well, he started a massage therapy business that lasted not even like a year. He blamed it on COVID, but after because you could have still gotten it done, there were still restrictions. He just didn't want to. So he did. He got his license. He did it for like a hot second, and then COVID started, so he shut it down. And
Yeah, he was right. Yeah, the
it
whole
wasn't
COVID.
because you couldn't do it. There were COVID restrictions. You could still do it with under restriction. He just stopped doing it, and that was kind of why him and Darcy broke up one of the times when their show was on because she was like, "I need you to be
Yeah,
like
she wanted
a
him to come to
provider."
stay with her. No, she didn't.
Yeah,
He wanted to stay working in Washington. I think that he lived. He wanted to stay working, and she wanted him to come drop that and come stay with her during COVID. That's what she did. Remember that he
yeah,
moved in with her
and
in that building during COVID, and he left his job and everything.
Hmm.
yeah, and then he never went back. And technically, she didn't want him to work out of the city with him because, or with her because she didn't trust him.
No, you couldn't.
that was that was the main issue. It wasn't that she didn't want him to make money. It was more so that she knew that if he was in Washington and she was in Miami, he was
Exactly.
going to be sleeping with those women. That's
Mhm.
she knew.
Mhm.
And she still stayed with
Hmm.
him. She's been with him this whole time. He's never going to work. He's never going to take care of her. I think she's already past that.
Mhm.
So every
Mhm.
time I hear her say like, "Oh, I'm going to be single and I need a man to take care of," I'm like, "You're past that because if you really wanted that, you would have it. You want him." And he's never going to get a job. He's never going to take care of you. He's always going to be living on whatever you make. So I think that anything that she
I
feeds us
mean,
otherwise,
and also Stacy and Darcy have to realize it has to come to a point where the man that you're with, no matter how much you're supporting him and everything, he has to be put. It's off-putting the way you look, like the surgeries and the surgeries and the surgeries. You know what these women must look like without makeup at night? Without those false
oh,
lashes, without those extensions in, what they must look
so
like at night.
are you saying that they're taking one for the team?
Yeah, they're like, you know what? Well, I don't have to work and I don't have to do shit, but damn, eventually I gotta fuck her, and she's not attractive in the least.
So they're basically so it's a trade-off. They're taking one for the team. So they don't have to work, but they have to be with these women.
Yeah,
So you think
they have to eventually do something to them. You think that they're gonna be paying all that money to them and taking them here and making them famous, putting them on the show, and then when it comes to doing something to them, because they're not just gonna have them as art guys, they want to fuck too. You gotta take one
yeah,
for the
that's
team. But so much plastic surgery. You with a woman that's 90% plastic. Nothing about her is real.
True. All right.
yeah,
Should we
yeah.
switch topics? We haven't talked about Last Resort's newest episode yet.
Yeah, last resort.
So, what did you think when
Oh
Jasmine was
yeah.
like, "Why don't you just go masturbate to Gino?"
Jasmine has been throwing this porn addiction thing at us for years,
Exactly.
and I don't know how I feel about it because I mean I feel like Gino he did admit. Oh, and I finally found someone online who uncovered what he said. Remember, they bleeped out when he said the type of porn that he has. So he said he loves blowjob porn and women that can take it in the ass. That's what he said, right? So I don't think that Gino is like not watching porn, but I think that it's not the full story. I think that, because they were going back and forth on Instagram comments. I think you guys
Mhm.
saw it. Saying Jasmine was saying, "Oh, he rejects me," and then Gino's like, she degrades
Yeah,
me.
she
She
degrades
puts
him.
me down. She says that her ex is better than me, and he was like, "It's not just that I'm sitting around watching Pornhub. Like that's not the whole
Mhm. Oh,
situation."
speaking of which, what's the deal with Florida now? You can't access Pornhub?
You
Yeah.
cannot. Yeah, there's a new law in effect where, okay, so the law states if you access a pornographic website, you have to upload your ID to prove that you're of
Hmm.
age.
Oh shit.
So, but instead of conforming to the law, the porn site said that those are unconstitutional. I don't know if that's the word they use, but they basically said it's a violation of privacy. So instead of implementing the ID confirmation, they just blocked the sites from the
Hmm.
state.
Uh,
That's actually true.
so you can't watch
So if
porn. You can't watch porn on your computer in Florida.
Mm.
you cannot, you cannot.
It's the same in my state as well.
Wait, is it the same in your state? Oh, I didn't. How many states is it?
I don't know, but it's more and more. That's why y'all need to stop voting in Republicans. But anyway, should we get back to the last?
Well, what do you
Oh
think Gino
shit.
is gonna do? Do you think it's in Michigan too? Because
Uh,
if Jasmine's theory is correct, that means that he's gonna be going dry for like ever. So like, what's gonna happen?
then I
Can he
guess he would
dry as well?
finally move out of Michigan. He'd finally be inspired.
I mean, yeah,
But then
yeah.
he
I'm
wouldn't
actually
move
gonna
to
live.
he wouldn't move to Florida. I'll tell you that.
Oh
No.
no, there's no chance. I
Yeah.
think that it's crazy because a lot of people, it was trending online, right? And I was like, what are people talking about? Because I didn't know. So I looked it up and I saw what people were talking about. And I was like, let me put it in my browser and
But
see.
is it
And
just
I
one
typed it.
website or porn in
No,
general?
all of them. Anything
Yeah,
that has
all the
18
tube
over consent.
sites.
Oh, so they're gonna
Yes,
probably bring back DVDs. You're gonna see everybody at the thrift shop looking for DVD players.
that is crazy. Oh my God, I've never actually seen a porn store. Like, those adult video stores?
Yeah,
I wonder if they're going to like start popping back
exactly.
up
You're
again.
gonna start seeing people rushing to the Goodwill looking for old DVD players and VHS players to play old tapes. Like, yeah, what are we gonna
This
do?
easy. Can you imagine? Like, remember Netflix used to mail people DVDs? Like now
The
people are
red
gonna be
box.
like
What is it? Red
mailing.
box?
Yeah, they're gonna be like opening a Netflix for porn, and they're gonna be like sending DVDs again. It's gonna be crazy.
Everybody's gonna head to Vegas, stock up on DVDs, and head back to their respective states. Oh, that's
Yeah,
crazy. I didn't
I'm
know it was the
just
whole entire. I thought it was just Pornhub that was getting blocked by Florida.
no. It's like a list of
Mhm.
states, and again, the law just says that you can still use it, but you have to upload your ID or your driver's
Oh
license, whatever you have.
shit!
But the sites were like, well, they would have to implement like a third party to securely store that
Nah, I'm not giving
information.
my driver's
And
license to anybody.
Yeah.
well, right. And they were like, well, what if we can't, safely store that information? So they're like, we're not getting involved. So we're just not going to let you use the site. So technically, the people could still go on the site if they would implement a way to upload your ID. But it's like, what
Who
if,
wants
like,
to upload their ID when they're watching?
Yeah. It's like
Like, now you know
it's
what kind of shit I watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, how
yeah,
wow.
many
and
times I
that's
watch
another
it?
thing. That's another thing. So, and what if they start selling that
Yeah, selling that
information?
Yeah.
So,
information.
like, that
That's a
information will now
violation of
be,
privacy.
Yeah, they're gonna see Gino Palazzo, babysitter porn
Right?
addict,
No, no. What does he say? He likes anal. He likes to
teen
watch
anal.
yeah,
anal.
and blowjob.
Yeah. What kind of anal thing? I mean, there could be some truth into his porn addiction because if you look at his first wife in contrast to then his next girlfriend, how they're completely night and day. And then from his next girlfriend to Jasmine and what Jasmine has become, what she's done with her body,
Mhm.
you know?
By the
So it's
way,
complete night and day.
one of our listeners, Catnip Evergreen, she says, nah, it's most of the South. Montana, Idaho, Utah, Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, Indiana, Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, Alabama, Virginia, North and South Carolina, and Florida.
Oh
Holy
shit!
Jesus. That's like half the
That's the
country.
whole South.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh
crazy.
It's all the
shit.
red states.
Yeah, you're right. It's the red
Oh
states. Can you
man.
imagine? It's funny because the red states are the states that are usually into freaky stuff. So it's really weird
And
that
yeah,
they're banning
all
what.
their senators and leaders are the most perverse.
Right, and they're banning what they love. Can you imagine?
Mhm.
They're literally banning the stuff that they usually get caught doing. So it's
Yeah.
really interesting that they're the ones saying you shouldn't be doing this when they're the ones that
Mhm.
are always doing it.
Yeah, they want you to upload your ID so they can shame you publicly when when you go up there.
I feel like
It's
yeah,
a
I feel
public
like that's what would
shaming.
happen because
Yep.
anytime you give your information to a company, the company is either going to misuse it or
It's
sell it.
kind of it
So
is
at
kind
some
of like
point,
Nazi-ish, You upload your ID and then they come knocking on your door that you're watching porn. They drag you out to the
Mhm.
street and beat you, flog you. You know,
yeah,
that's
it's
crazy.
it's
That's absurd. That's absurd. I mean,
who would have thought this would be America in 2025? Who would have thought this is the country we live in?
yeah, that's
Mhm.
absurd. That's absurd.
True.
They have to let that shit go. I mean, that's your
Oh, there's
privacy.
also another law. There's another law here that passed. Anyone under the age of 16 is banned from having social media.
What?
Mhm.
So anyone that's under 16, I think if you're 15, you can have it with parents' written permission with an uploaded ID.
Mhm.
And if you're under 15 and you have a social media account, the social media company has to delete your account. Because in Florida, anyone under the age of 15 is not allowed to have
They
any social
passed
media
that law
whatsoever.
too?
Yeah, that passed as well this year for the beginning of this year. Yeah.
Oh
True.
shit.
And
Yeah.
Yeah, Florida's a weird place, guys.
Yeah.
Florida's a
yeah,
weird
it's like
A
place. It's
lot
everyone
very
everyone
weird.
goes there
yeah.
because you don't pay like income tax or whatever, right?
Yeah, there's no state
Yeah.
taxes here, so you don't pay, you just pay federal. There's no state. But it's actually
Uh,
funny because I've everything I've ever purchased in Florida I paid sales tax on, so it kind of balances out. Because when I lived in Ohio, you didn't pay sales tax on food
Mhm.
or water or anything that wasn't carbonated. So there was a little bit of relief. But in Florida, you pay sales tax on everything. So I kind of feel like it balances out. It's not even really that big of a deal.
Yeah, I know. I heard in like Texas, I think Texas is like that where you don't pay income tax or whatever, but then the property tax is really high, I think.
Yeah, the property tax is high here too. I heard that Texas is a little
Mhm.
better because I've seen that people are buying like really nice big mansion type houses with pillars for like 280,000 for the whole
Mhm.
house, right? Like Texas
uh-huh.
has become like the place where people go to live like a rich
Uh-huh.
person on a
Uh-huh.
budget.
Uh-huh.
And I've seen a lot of it. Like I know someone who recently moved to Texas, and the house that they moved
I've always
from was
heard
like a
that
normal looking.
Texas real estate market was pretty decent. Like
Well,
you can
you
get
could
a
get
lot
a
of
new
yeah, you can
build.
get a lot of bang for your buck.
Mhm.
I'm not sure what
Yeah, a
area.
lot of times that these areas are along the border, so you have to be careful.
Um,
They're along the border, so there tends to be a lot of home invasions or issues with burglaries and stuff. So
um,
you have to be careful. But you're gonna be living in like a house that looks like on the
Mhm.
lifestyles of the rich and famous. It's gonna look
True.
crazy,
oh,
but
okay.
yeah, but it's a whole
Yeah.
thing because I've been watching a lot of people flocking to Texas and they're moving into these houses that I'm looking and I'm like, whoa, and they're like, I only paid 300,000 or I only paid 250,000. I'm like, huh?
Mhm.
Like in
Okay.
California, these homes would be 3 or 4 million.
Oh, California,
True.
anything is $1 million. You can go
You're
to
right.
Skid
You're
Row. You
right.
can get a Skid Row and get a tent for like 200,000 just because it's California.
Mhm. So George, I know you did a wrap. Did you do a wrap up show for Last Resort on your Facebook? I mean, not on Facebook, on Instagram.
Not last. No, we canceled it. My co-host had a horrible situation, so we canceled it. There was a really bad head-on collision, and someone passed away.
Oh,
So yeah, we canceled it on Monday. So we didn't do one. So yeah, I wasn't able to cover
Mhm.
it this week. So this will be my first
Okay.
time talking about the
So
last
I'm
resort
trying to
since
think
it
what
aired.
happened aside from the Gino Jasmine argument.
Oh, I can go back. I have all my tweets.
True.
Let me see here.
Well, did you see? It's not really like a plot line, but more of like a social media thing. The Stacy's tan lines got a lot of attention.
she must have been sitting down when she did the
I
tan
saw that.
and
Okay,
didn't.
so I got to admit, I accidentally talked about because I know she came clean about having
Hmm.
vitiligo, and
Oh
the
yeah, I
the
remember that a
discoloration
long time ago.
reminded me of that, and I was like, well, guys, I don't know if we should be talking about that because it could be her vitiligo
Hmm.
because it doesn't just happen on your face; it can happen anywhere. And then a lot of people online were like, no, those are from a
That's a
tanning
tanning
bed. And
bed.
unfortunately, yeah, I'm not familiar with the tanning bed, so I didn't realize. So I hope I didn't upset Stacy. She had already admitted on the show that she had it, but I don't like to just bring up people's conditions, when it's
Mhm.
unnecessary. So I just want to apologize. I didn't mean to bring it up. I didn't realize that that was just simply from her tanning bed. So I felt bad for saying that. I didn't know that
No,
that could
that's
happen.
not a that looked like she did the tanning, but she sat somewhere and it's like right in the creases of her butt, on her butt
Mm,
cheek. Like,
okay.
yeah, that doesn't look like vitiligo. Vitiligo, you
Yeah.
can tell what that is or not.
Yeah, it was
That
too
looked like she just,
uniformly in her
yeah, she
crevice.
just looked like she sat somewhere during the tan and fucked everything up. Yeah,
Ah, okay.
yeah,
Oh, so Natalie read Josh's text from Sophie's phone. That happened while they were out at the cowboy hat creation
yeah, we
store.
saw that.
And,
Well, go ahead, you can
and
review that
she
because I
got
missed a couple
yeah,
things.
she got to read the text, and that was one of the situations that happened. So she kind of wanted to apologize after that to Sophie, and Sophie was like, I don't want to hear that, old lady. She was like, I don't want to hear that. She was like, you said what you said, and you meant what you
Yeah,
meant, it is what it is.
exactly.
And it's funny because she called Sophie a whore. She called Josh a whore. She called
Yeah, hookers.
um
Everybody was a hooker.
Sophie a hooker.
Yeah, but you know what's
Yeah,
fucked
and
up?
it's
That
crazy.
Jasmine started that whole shit because Jasmine shouldn't
Yeah,
have done that.
Jasmine
Mhm.
Jasmine,
and
yeah,
Stacy.
Jasmine and Stacy. That's why I wish I know Natalie. Everybody hates her or anything, but I wish for that split second that Natalie just would have punched Jasmine in her face. I fucking hate Jasmine. I'm sorry. Whoever likes her, that's your business. But I fucking hate her. I think she's so loud and disruptive of everything, and she's fake.
Mhm.
She's really fake.
Yeah, she literally
Oh,
bitches at Gino about
Yeah,
porn, but then she promotes
yeah, and
her
then she with her stupid.
OnlyFans.
I think she overdoes her accent as well.
Oh yeah,
You
probably
know,
yeah.
with that, and then the crying and the acting so crazy. She disgusts me. I'm tired of her.
oh, I wanted to ask y'all this question. So every time on The Last Resort since the season 2 premiered, when the girls, quote unquote, the girls, all together and all hanging out, Ariella is never present. Do you guys think that that's strictly like coincidental, or do you think Ariella maybe doesn't play well with other girls? Like, what is your thoughts on that? Because every time the girls, like, if the guys would have time together,
Hmm.
like they'll all be drinking or they'll be doing something, the girls will go out together. Ariella's never a part of it. And when they all went to the club, she hid in the bathroom. So she's never really been a part of the scene. Do you think it's because she doesn't play well with others? I put it online.
Hmm.
I got a bunch of comments and people were like, "Oh yeah, she's probably like one of those girls who can't be friends with girls, or whatever." Like, how do
Yeah,
y'all feel about that?
that's probably true
I mean,
because you can see
I mean,
from her first season she never had friends. It was either her
if you
mother
were
Yeah.
or somebody
if
else
you
she was
were
fucking with.
if you were a female cast member though, would you want to hang out with Ari?
Well, no, she's like Buzz Killington. She literally is the buzzkill. She's
Mm.
always, when you have that one friend and everyone's drinking and having a good time, and they're like, "You probably had enough drinks." They
She
probably mean
definitely
well,
doesn't
but
play.
they're
She
also,
doesn't play well with girls because remember her first season, she was only friends with her ex husband Leandro. She didn't
Mm.
have any
Yeah,
female friends
yeah,
in her ear,
yeah.
that was
you know.
that was the only person she could
And
get
Hmm.
to
she's
come
always
out
been
there.
country hopping from one place to another or by herself, like a lone. She's more like a loner type person.
Hmm.
So maybe she
I
doesn't.
can
She
see
does.
that.
She just isolates herself. Not that she just isolates herself.
So what
Okay.
did you think when like Jasmine ran into the boys drinking and she grabbed the drink out of Gino's hand and said, "You've been drinking too much." What did you think about that?
Oh yeah, so the fun police scene,
Hmm.
I felt like the girls were allowed to go out and have fun, and then when they got back and saw the guys were having fun, and I hate to say this because I like Jasmine, but I do feel like Jasmine is the type of person where if she's not happy, it would bother her if you were happy.
Hmm.
Like, that
Yeah.
misery loves company thing. I feel like she was mad. She didn't like the way she got rejected in that hot tub that day. And then when she got back to the resort and saw Gino drinking and happy and smiling and laughing, it like triggered her.
Hmm.
And I feel like she was like, I know this motherfucker isn't happy after he rejected me and made me feel like I'm nothing in this hot tub. And I just feel like it was way too far the way she's throwing drinks and tossing. Even the bartender was like, are you seriously like throwing the drinks away that I'm making? It was way too much.
Hmm.
And I just feel like people who don't allow other people to have fun because they want them to be miserable with them are the like worst people to be around. You know, because your happiness is your
I
happiness, and
just
you
think
don't
that
have
she
to
jumps
pretend.
at any chance to emasculate Gino and make him feel like shit, and her behavior is so over the top towards him. I can see why he doesn't get hard with her, even if it's a scripted line that he doesn't do anything to her in bed. But I can see it. I can see not being turned on by her. She's just a whack job.
Mhm.
So he posted when they were going back and forth on Instagram, he said that the things that she said on the show that are, emasculating, like she wished that she banged her ex before she got to Michigan and he's better. He said that actually everything that she said to him is way, way, way worse than on camera. So he was like, think about the things that I've said that she said and the things that you've seen her say on the show. And he's like, think about 10 times
And
worse
I
than
believe
that.
him.
He
I
was like,
believe him a hundred
he was
percent.
like,
I believe him.
and he said it's every possible
I
moment.
believe him.
He was like, you know how some people have good
Mhm.
moments and then they're happy? There's no good moments. It's just her destroying him and tearing him down and making him feel less than. And I'm beginning to understand now because not everybody wants to be emasculated and drawn down. Like sometimes I like it if I meet a girl and the girl is
Mhm.
mean. Like I'll be confident and she'll be like, "Why would I want to talk to you?"
Mhm.
I that's kind of fun. And it's like, "Oh, I have to like try a little
Yeah.
harder." I don't want to do that every single moment of every day of my whole
You
life.
you know what
You
Jasmine
know,
strikes me as is like, let's she seems the type of person where it's like, let's say, I don't know how to explain this, but like, let's say you're in a similar line of work and like her job is like a pain in the ass, but then your job is like, you let's say like let's say whatever, like let's say you either get like you're getting off early, or you're having like an easy week, or your boss is out of town or something, where like you're just having a more of a relaxed time. She seems like a type of person that's like not happy for you that you're having an easy time, and if she's struggling, so it's like if she's struggling, she wants you to struggle. Like she doesn't strike me as someone that's like happy for your non-struggling.
yeah, I can
I,
see
I,
that.
I
I
also feel
can.
like I know Gino she was on a sugar baby app, and that's where Gino found her. And I think that that was her take from the beginning. She was going to take this guy and she was going to put him through the ringer and treat him like shit and abuse him and emasculate him, like a dominatrix type situation. I think that that was her whole motive from the beginning, because they don't even match. They don't match at all. Their energies,
So wait,
the personalities, their energies do not match.
do you think that Jasmine is a dominatrix? Like, do you think that Jasmine's love language is degrading? Is degrading him? Like, do you think that that's how she? Like, you know how some people are in a
Mhm.
relationship and they talk to people really bad, dominatrix for instance. But there's some people who are like in a full-fledged relationship
Yeah,
and they say
yeah. I
mean
bet you.
things,
I
but
bet
like,
you she's not that way with her other lovers, with
Yeah.
Matt, the new boyfriend, or with the Dane, the other guy. She doesn't treat them like that.
I mean, the way she was sucking
oh,
Gino's toes, I feel like she likes to be a sub more than a dom.
Yeah, she seems like she took Gino and she said, "I'm going to torture this bastard to death."
but like, what was the end game? Like, did she just do you think she wanted to do it until he divorced
Yeah,
her,
her
or do you
she
think
got the
that?
end game. He brought her here, and then she did whatever she wanted to do. At some point, it might have been, just let's finish this show. We keep getting recasted to do more shows. We're making a lot of money. We're making tons of money. Let's just keep this storyline going. But I'm sure at some point he was like, turned off by her completely. If you look at the couples aesthetically, they don't match. Personality wise, they do not match. Gino is soft spoken and more introverted, and she's wild and out of control, and everything is a big scene. And the first thing she goes is for the jugular when they argue. Oh, my ex was better than you. How she can have,
Mhm.
you know, be friends with men, but he can't even have. Remember the house, because his ex wife painted it. She was going through hell and going all crazy before she got there, but she's living in a building with her ex-boyfriend. Things like that. That was her plan from the beginning. She took Gino and she took him for a sucker, and she beat him down to the ground. She beat him down to the ground.
Mhm. Did you see the post I made where I like Yeah, I did. Took what Gino wrote about Jasmine on social media, and I put it into like a Chat GPT filter to make it sound like a 1920s gangster.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that.
Do you want me to read one of it?
Yeah, let's read it out here.
I
Yeah.
feel like they'll be funny. Let me see. Let me pull it up. But I don't know what an accent would look like or sound like. But here, I'm gonna. Do you want me to try to read one?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Okay. Do you want to do try to just read the like the gangster version, or do I need to read the regular version first, or just go for the gangster
Go for the
version?
gangster version.
Yeah, just go for the
Okay.
gangster version.
All right. This is gonna be me trying to read Gangster Gino. Okay. Okay. Listen here, doll. Let me set you straight. Who in their right mind wants to cozy up to a dame who's always picking fights and treating you like yesterday's garbage? Ain't nobody got time for some broad screaming at you day and night, talking trash, saying her ex was better in the sack or wishing she got her kicks with him before hitting town. Nah, sweetheart. That's a one-way ticket to nowhere, and I ain't punching that ticket. That was it.
That's actually that's actually
Yeah,
spot
that
on.
is spot on.
All right, I got one more. You want to do one more?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
let's
okay.
go.
Listen up, Toots. Jasmine spinning tales about me bashing her looks behind closed doors. That's a load of hooey. The truth is, she's the one running me down, cutting me to size, and making me feel like a sap. You've seen it on the shows clear as day, but let me tell you off camera, it's 10 times worse. She's screaming, yelling, ripping into me daily since she rolled into Michigan. Me, I treat her with respect, always have. I don't bully, I don't shame, and I sure as hell ain't the guy she's painting me as. Quit running your mouth, Jasmine, and quit spreading lies. Okay.
Yeah, that's dope.
Thank you, thank
I
you.
like.
Yeah. Tip your
I mean,
waiters.
I like Gino as a gangster better. I would pay to hear that from him.
Somebody
I
says,
would.
Shabooty, no offense, but your voice is totally no gangster. Hey,
Oh,
oh,
shots fired.
hey, don't hate. I got tenor in my voice, bitch.
Shots fired.
Anyway, yeah, I thought that was funny.
Well, I think that he's right though. She definitely has destroyed him from the inside.
Mhm.
She's torn him apart, and it's hard to, I don't know, because I used to compare it to like, oh well, when two people fight they have makeup sex, whatever. But from his perspective, they're always fighting.
I think she's
So I,
trying to
I
be like a Larissa 2.0. But Larissa
Mhm.
wasn't that mean to Colt until Colt started. Colt wasn't really an asshole to Larissa. Not like Gino's not as bad as Colt was to Larissa. You know, Colt was
I
more
mean,
more vocal about about Larissa and this and that.
I feel like Gino isn't an asshole at all. Like I
Exactly.
feel like Gino
He
is
doesn't deserve. He
he's a
doesn't
nice
deserve what
guy.
she's giving. She's combining Anfisa and Larissa and boiling it into one and Evelyn. Remember Evelyn? How she used to treat
Mhm.
that
Corey,
Corey? Oh my
Corey,
God,
yeah,
I couldn't watch. I couldn't watch the way she was treating him.
she fed him
Bulls balls.
like bull balls soup. Remember
Yeah,
that?
Mhm.
well, she was fucking
She was
everybody in
so
town while he
evil.
was away, and then she was mad because, yeah, these women, they take these guys and they turn them into they step all over them.
Yeah, I feel bad for Gino. It's funny because I used to be a little bit on Jasmine's side because I was like, well, even Florian said in the episode, he was like, dude, just fuck your wife. He was like, just to shut her up. At this point, he was like, just do it. And Gino was like, it's not even about that. It's more so about I'm repulsed by her because the way she treats me. And I think that it's funny because if this was the other way around, we would be way more sympathetic if there was a man degrading a woman about the way she
Oh
looks
yeah,
and her weight
we'd storm the
and
castle.
her
We'd
her
storm the castle.
right. We would yeah, we would be like, oh no, you cannot speak to her that way. But since it's a woman degrading a man, we're like, oh well, he's a man, suck it up, deal it. And I feel like that's
Mhm.
that's a lot of the reason why
Yeah,
a lot of people were team Jasmine at
sadly,
first.
we let the women on this show get away with a lot more than the men do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, like I put
We
I
we don't draw the line when we should, when it's coming from a woman. We wait too long to draw the line.
yeah, like when I posted that Gino thing I just read, in the comments, there's still a lot of like Jasmine supporters, but they know my account is a pro Gino account, so they got to tread lightly because if you start sucking Jasmine's balls too much, I might get pissed off and like
Yeah, I'm
restrict you
pro
or block
Gino.
you.
I'm pro Gino. I've always been pro Gino. I've never felt 1 ounce of sympathy towards Jasmine ever.
Oh, by the way, is Coco here?
Yeah, it said that
It-
Coco requested.
yeah,
Coco?
I'm here.
Hey, Happy New
Coco,
Year.
Hey.
Hi.
hope you're feeling
How are you
better.
feeling?
Um, thought I'd check in.
Mm.
I have a horrendous flu. I didn't get my flu shot this year,
Oh.
and yeah, I was in the hospital earlier. So um, I'm just here to listen.
Mm. Well, I heard
Oh,
Steve
well,
hit up George.
Oh my god, I know.
I got to interact with Mr.
Oh
Coco.
my god, that's
It was very
hilarious.
exciting.
Because he sorry, I'm like um he's like, "Oh, George came up on my For You page on TikTok." And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Yeah, I sent him a message." He's like, "Is this the real George?" I was like, "What?"
Yeah, that's
I was
exactly
like,
what
"You're
it said.
showing your age, hun." Like, it's a very old man thing to do.
It was funny though. And I was like, it's me. It's actually me. And then he was like, it's Mr. Coco Vegas. I was like, oh, no way. I was like, get out of here. I'm starstruck.
Yeah, yeah. No, I just wanted to comment on Jasmine. I mean, like,
Mhm.
oh my god, I sound like a man right now. But I would be so mortified if like I'm in the hot tub and like I'm asking my husband to like, massage me or whatever and he acts like I'm the most repulsed thing on earth. Like I wouldn't even be in that really and that would be my sign to just like end it.
But it's weird
Yeah.
when the woman's like, just go into the room and masturbate." Like it's like that's like not a working relationship.
No.
Well, we have to remember in the beginning and in well, the last episode, beginning of that episode, she said that she had been thinking about adding a third person for her sexual needs
Mhm.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if he's
And
not giving to
if a
her,
woman is if a woman yeah, so if a woman is thinking that, the relationship is basically already over. If a woman
Mhm.
has said, oh well, I'm not going to ever make this work with this person, so I need someone to do this for me, she's already given up.
Yeah,
That's
and
like
at that
that's
point,
not even
they hadn't fucked in like what 6 to 8 months or something.
yeah, like 8 months, which, at that point, and it's funny because Rob and Sophie were at that number two, actually a little further.
Mhm.
And, at that point, I think that if you can't make yourself touch the other person, you're done. Like
Yeah.
you don't even like the because she's in a hot tub and she's like, just touch me on my back. He's not asking, it wasn't sexual, just
no.
touch me on my back. And he was just like, ugh, like it was almost like she asked him to touch a dead animal.
Mhm.
Like he was so repulsed by the idea of his hands touching her. And I'm like, at this point, it's just over with. Like if you can't even the thought of being near her makes you feel that way, it's just over with.
Yeah, but they like were well, George, you're the expert, but like when they filmed Last Resort, at that point were they kind of already kind of broken up? Because wasn't that after the happily ever after tell all house?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
after.
because
And it was we actually remember she was in Florida for like a full month
yeah,
in January. That was after too.
I
So,
mean,
and that's around the time that
mhm,
the Matt guy started popping up.
yeah,
So it was after.
yeah. I mean, like
So yeah.
I feel like we already had this conversation, but like when the 90 Day Fiance happily ever after tell all house was being recorded, it was kind of obvious they weren't really together even at that point because they weren't sleeping in the same room.
Well, it was obvious. They didn't admit it, but Rob and Sophie did though, because Sophie, when she got there, she's like, "We're kind of here as friends." She said, and remember, she wouldn't come in with Rob. She made Rob go in first, and then when she was in her little confessional, she's like, "We're just kind of here as friends. We're not really together." And I think that's the same situation that Gino and Jasmine were in. They didn't actually say it
Mhm.
the way Sophie did. But I think that, yeah, I think when they all arrived at that tell all, none of them were really together anymore. Rob and Sophie and Gino and Jasmine. And, we had already seen this Matt guy. And then we find out on the last resort that she sleeps over clearly Matt's house
Mhm.
because she said it's my close friend, and then when she calls him at the last resort, she's like, Matt's my close friend. You put the two and two together. That's whose house she was sleeping over. And I'm not saying that she can't have a male friend, but if you're sleeping over your male friend's house and your husband is texting and calling you and you don't return his texts or calls, that looks really sketchy.
Yeah.
Like that's very sketchy.
No, he was the emotional friend that turned into the physical friend, aka boyfriend.
Well, that's what they warn women about.
Mhm.
It's that one guy
Mhm.
that wants to be your friend. And, men always say, watch out for that guy because he doesn't just want to be your friend. He's waiting to swoop in
Mhm.
at the right moment. And do you think that's true? Do you
Yeah.
feel like when there's a guy that's always hanging around a really pretty girl, he's just her friend? Do you think he's just
Well,
waiting for his time to shine? Do you think
yeah,
that's what that really is?
I think so. And then it's like, well, first of all, I feel like having the emotional friend and having the emotional affair is just a preamble to just breaking up and then being in the real relationship with the emotional friend. So yes.
Well, right. Once he gets her to emotionally cheat with him,
Mhm.
the physical is a lot easier. Once
Mhm.
he's there, every time the real boyfriend or husband screws up, and he's always there, he shows up.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, it's not your fault. You can stay here.
Mhm.
I won't even sleep in the bed." He's getting that
Yeah,
emotional
he's
bond built.
instigating the
So,
breakup.
right. And I hate to say that because I think that it's possible for men and women to be friends. My best friend in the world is a woman. We've never done
Same.
anything sexual at all. So I hate to insinuate that, but I think there are certain situations, especially this one with Matt and Jasmine. And it's like she picked a guy that looks so vastly different than Gino. And I think that also says a lot. So when your best friend is like the opposite of the person that you're with, that makes me question it too. Because I was like, well, why did you need a gym guy who's got a six pack, who looks nothing like your husband? Why does
Who
that have to be your best friend?
who's a personal trainer as well?
Exactly, like the complete opposite of what you have at home. I question that too. Because it's like, well, you can have a friend. It doesn't matter what your friend looks like because it's not sexual. But I've noticed, people will have a really hot friend. Their friends have to be hot, and I'm like,
Mhm.
why do they have to be hot? Like because if I bond with someone like on a conversation level, I don't care what they look like. They're my friend. So it's just interesting that people always pick a vastly different looking individual who's got all the characteristics that they
Mhm.
claim that they're looking for, but then they claim that they're not
And
attracted to
that,
them.
yeah, and that that they will be attracted to you or be DTF if you ask them to.
Mhm. Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's funny when your emotional friend is a hunk.
Exactly. Right? Like, because that's my thing. Like, if you have a friend, like if you're a really hot girl and you have like this nerdy,
Mhm.
like non-threatening friend, like I've been in relationships with women and they had this really friend, like this nerdy guy. He wore glasses. He would talk to me, shake my hand whenever we met. I didn't see him as a threat. I was like, oh, well, if she's into me, I don't think she would be into him. But it's like if I meet the best friend and he's like ripped and he's 2 feet taller than me
Mhm.
and everything about him is better than what I have going on, that's gonna make me question things a little bit.
Yeah, like
And he
like
and
my
he's a personal trainer.
like my
Well,
like
Right.
it's funny you say that because like Steve and I always he always jokes. He goes, "I don't think I'm old enough for you," and like, sorry, and he likes like my best friend is in his 30s, so he's like, "Yeah, he's not like 80. He's not a threat."
Well, that's actually accurate in your situation. A 30-year-old, in your opinion, is probably like the ugliest, most smelliest, disgusting person that you could ever meet, right? Like I feel like for you, Coco, to be attracted to a 30-year-old
Oh,
is
that
like
never
asking you to
happened.
cut your
Yeah, like
right. Like
like
it's
Coco.
not
Yeah,
real.
like Coco's best friend, male best friend could be like a 30 year
Yeah,
old.
he's
Like
the
he's
37.
a
He's
male
like
best
no,
friend.
he's like 38. But
the
yeah.
only the
That
only
yeah,
the
that could
only
work.
the
That could
only
work.
30-year-old Coco's fucking is Benjamin Button.
Oh,
Coco would definitely be best friends with a 37-year-old. Now, 67-year-old, I'd be worried. I'd be worried.
yeah, like
Maybe a 37-year-old that has that one aging disease where you age like at twice the speed.
Mhm.
So he's 37, but he looks like
yeah. But does he
70.
have liver
Maybe one of
spots? I like those.
Yeah, like Benjamin Button. Benjamin Button, when he was 30, he looked like he was 90.
wait, that okay, so that was the guy with that disease. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Brad Pitt played Benjamin Button.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yo, you
Sorry,
gotta
Okay.
I'm
see it. It's a
attracted to
must see.
liver spots.
You got Homer.
Okay, so now I need to watch that. Oh, by the way, guys, I finished
Oh, yeah,
season 1 of
yeah.
Squid
What's your
Game.
Squid Game review?
Okay, so I was a little shocked at the
No,
first
no,
episode. I
no
wasn't.
spoiler, no spoilers. I haven't
No,
seen it.
no, season one though. He's
No,
talking about.
this was
I
season
haven't seen
one.
season
This
one
was.
Well,
either.
at this point, you should be able to spoil season one though. It's been
I
out.
I
mean,
think season one people told me came out in like 2020 or
yeah, it was. I think it
2021.
was a
So
COVID thing. It was a
No, but
COVID
yeah,
yeah,
I'm giving
COVID
you. You
show.
should be able to spoil season one.
I just okay. So I was a little shocked at like the first game. Like it was kind of slow, so I was watching it and I was on my phone and I was like, laying down, dozing off, and then all of a sudden they got into the first game, and it shocked me because I was like, huh. Okay, they're playing red light, green light, whatever, and then it was just crazy, and I was really, but I was really interested in like the storylines of the people,
Mm,
so I don't know. I thought it was really good. It's funny because I thought that there was more because it's been such a huge topic for years. I thought that there was more than two seasons. So when I got through season one and then I saw there's only like half a season two up, I was like, damn, people have been talking about this for all these years and there's only like a season and a half. So I was really shocked at how little material there was that caused so much commotion from that.
mm. Yeah, that was one of the shows where when it first came out, like I wasn't really interested in it, but then people were like swearing up and down, like, "No, you gotta watch this. This shit's insane." And then when I watched, it's like, "Oh yeah, this that was crazy," and I'm a super fan officially.
I mean, I don't know if I'm a super fan, but I watched the first season and like when did I tell you I was watching? I think in a day and a half or 2 days
Hmm.
I finished it and I didn't fall asleep on it. I'll put it like that. I fall asleep on things a lot. So I didn't fall asleep on it. It was pretty and I watched season two, episode one
Hmm.
tonight and it's different. Like
Yeah,
episode one or season two is different, I'll put it that way.
true. Yeah, Captain, when are you gonna watch it?
I'm thinking about starting it, binging it this weekend, probably.
Mhm.
This week coming up, probably by Tuesday, I'll probably binge it real quick, put season one, and then start season two. But I have so many shows that I want to binge that I don't know what to watch first. There's a lot of
Mhm.
good
Yeah,
shows, a
it's
lot of good shows that have that Dexter Origins and all of that. I want to watch that. I also want to watch Get Millie Black. I don't know if you've seen it. Get Millie Black. It's a show.
no, I haven't.
Yeah, Get Millie Black. I think it's on Cinemax or something. It's a show about a detective. So there's a lot of shows that are coming through that I really want. I want to do a Dune Prophecy also.
Mhm.
But the thing is that I wait for my husband because he's like, "Oh, don't watch it without me. Don't watch it without me." And so I'm still in, like they're in
Uh
queue waiting for him.
those people are
Those
the
are the
worst.
Mhm.
worst people.
The worst
The
people.
worst
I
people. The ones that want you to
because
wait
they're
for them to
never
watch.
around. They're never around, and then they got
Exactly.
you sitting around. See, I told people I was like, I'm not doing
Exactly.
this with you
I've been
anymore because I
dying
was
to start so many things, and he's like, "Oh, but don't start it without me. I'll watch it. I'll watch it." And they're all
no.
like in
Do
queue.
what do what I do. Watch it, and then when you watch it with them, pretend like you're
No,
surprised. I do it
I've
all the
done
time.
that with a few movies. Like I've seen them and then I stay quiet and then when I'm like, "Oh shit, I didn't know that was gonna happen," but I've already seen it because I've been dying to watch movies. But he's like, "Oh wait, I'll watch it with you," and then he forgets about it because sports is all he really cares about. So he puts everything on the back burner for sports.
Well, sports is too consuming. There's always something going on. If you
Mhm.
dedicate your life to sports, you'll never have time for anything else. It's a year-round thing. There's always a sport going on. There's always a playoff. It's like 90 Day Fiance. It's like it's its own realm.
True.
You can't get
Yeah,
away from it.
yeah,
Okay,
and we're only on twice a week. You would think we're on like sports every single day of the week. There's some kind of game on the TV.
mhm. All right, let's get back
Yep,
to 90
you're
Days.
right.
Fiancé. What did you think of like Liz hanging out with Big Mike on New Year's Eve?
That shocked me. I didn't expect that pair.
Hmm.
I didn't know they were friends, so I had a lot of questions. I had quite a few questions, and I'm not mad. Okay, so would you be mad if Liz and Big Mike started talking like on a like friendlier level? Like, how would you feel about
On
that?
what level?
Like on a closer, friendlier level, like building something,
If it's
or are you more worried about your shot?
well,
Maybe they've always been friends, but that could be why the her and Natalie never really clicked because her and Liz and Mike were always friends.
mm. So
Yeah, that's true. I mean, obviously Liz is in a relationship, but I mean, how would you feel about her and Mike being
Well,
close, like friends, just hanging out?
well, I know Mike has a loving girlfriend.
Well, yeah, that's why I said like they're friends.
Mhm.
They're like hanging out, building something like a friendship. Like, how would is that okay, or is that or would you see that as strange?
I mean, I think well, I think the New Year's Eve photo makes sense as far as like a publicity stunt, but
Well, and they're both living close to each other,
Mhm.
right? So it's only it's normal to think that, oh, I'm in the same city as this person. We're gonna take a photo together, a photo op situation. That happens a lot.
Yeah, would I feel weird if he maintained his current relationship with that chick that he's with, and he was all of a sudden super tight with Liz?
Yeah. How would you feel about that?
I don't know.
Because you're kind of like Liz's number one guy friend at this moment. So like, how would you feel if Big Mike was like moving into that area, that territory?
I mean, I'm not. I don't look as Big Mike as a threat, if that's what you're asking.
Oh,
I think I
so he
think
is not a
I
threat.
think
No.
their relationship is more professional because Big
Mhm.
Mike is on Pillow Talk and Liz is coming to Pillow Talk, so maybe they have that in
I
common.
don't know if you're supposed to announce the last part, but anyway.
Oh no, I'm just assuming. I'm assuming because she said she
True.
couldn't talk to us about anything because she was still under NDA. So
True.
I'm assuming the only other show for her is either Pillow Talk or The Single Life, and it's not
Yeah.
going to be The Single Life because she's in a relationship. So that's the only other
Yeah,
option.
yeah.
Hmm.
Option. But yeah, Liz and Mike, that doesn't make sense. That's like a Chihuahua and a Saint Bernard. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, anatomically, you're right. Like, I feel like that would be very painful for
But
Liz
then, well,
in
she
like a
had a
million.
hedgehog, a giant hedgehog on top of her. So
Yeah,
No, no,
yeah.
but he was still small. Mike is like 6 feet tall. Liz is like 5 feet, and then she's like
wait,
100 pounds.
who's 6 feet tall?
Big Mike?
Oh no,
Mike?
I thought you were talking about Big Ed. I was confused.
No, no, Big Mike is
No, we mean Big
Yeah.
Big
Mike.
Mike
Big
is
Mike is
like six
huge.
Yeah.
feet, 300 pounds, and Liz is like
I think he's like
100 pounds
even taller
wet.
than six
True.
feet. Like, he's big.
Liz is like 100 pounds wet and 5 feet tall.
Hmm.
So,
But
no,
the
she's not even 5 feet tall. She said she was
but
shorter than that.
but next to Big Ed though, Liz is like George Murasan.
Yeah, she's taller than Big.
Yeah, yeah,
Everybody's taller than Big Ed, but
yeah.
True.
yeah,
Yeah, there's toddlers,
big.
toddlers.
That would be abusive if Big Mike and Liz got together. We'd have to
You know,
pray
I,
for
I
her
no,
mean,
yeah,
literally.
that would maybe kill my crush if Big Mike
Yeah.
banged her, because that would I would yeah that's yeah. Anyway, next subject.
yeah. How can you go in there after that? Okay, I wanna say, this is weird to me. So you know how Tyree used to be all over social
Mhm,
media, and he posted a lot, he was live a lot. He's kind of been gone. So I want to get y'all's opinion. Do you think he's filming something? Because it's really weird. He used to be live every
mhm.
night. He would come in here. He would talk to us. I saw him on Instagram a lot. And Tyree has kind of fell off the face of the earth. I don't know if you guys noticed. He posts very rarely now.
There's a lot.
And I'm like,
There's a lot of that going on our podcast. We're missing a lot of people that used to pop in here and talk all the time, and we don't know if they're filming or not. Remember,
Mhm.
the one Riley's been missing a little bit, so we're not sure what's going on with that. Um,
would you want to see Tyree again?
yeah, Tyree. I mean, he already did the single life, so I don't know. We
Well,
want to
yeah,
see
because I
him.
was gonna ask that.
I don't know if
Where do
we
you
want to
think
see
we could?
that again, but maybe Pillow
Well,
Talk. Pillow Talk.
well, yeah, Pillow Talk or maybe the Single
Yeah,
House.
Jamie. Remember, Jamie used to be on here all the time, and Jamie has disappeared
Yeah,
too.
and
She's
she's
MIA.
gone
Yep,
too. Yeah,
she's MIA.
and when people disappear from social media, it typically means they either are sick of the 90-day universe and the community, or they're filming something.
Mhm.
So it can usually be one or the other. But you're right. I've noticed a bunch of people like fall out of like the realm, like they're MIA, and I'm like, huh, what's going on with this person? Where are they at?
I know he posts on Threads a lot.
Oh shoot, I don't use Threads. I mean, maybe he is using other, like utilizing other social
Mhm,
media. Because I used to go on TikTok and he would always be
mhm.
live, and I've like really
That,
seen him disappearing.
let me answer a question with a question, which is, have you seen Michael on TikTok lately?
No,
Okay,
I
so
haven't seen Michael
I
on.
feel like your theory more so applies to Michael than Tyree.
Oh yeah, that's true. Michael was posting quite a bit, and he's been very quiet. And I think he's more prone to be filming something right this
Hmm.
second than
Yeah.
Tyree. That's very possible. And I know that TLC is,
Michael from Angela,
Yeah.
Michael from Angela.
yes.
Yeah, he's another one that he took his 50 grand and disappeared.
No,
So
but at the same
Yeah,
time, like
he's
Michael can go to the producers and say how many TLC people have set up a GoFundMe that blew up and they earned 50 plus thousand
yeah,
dollars. Not many.
he
So that
started a
shows how much
trend.
fan support I have. So y'all better put me back on
Exactly.
there.
He started a trend because after he got the GoFundMe, everybody started GoFundMe, GoFundMe,
Mhm.
GoFundMe. Someone told me that Rain, Chicken Lady Rain, was actually assisting Chitty on getting surgery on his eyes here in the U.S. I don't know. Did you guys hear anything like that?
Well, Chitty set up a GoFundMe, but I don't know if it went
I
anywhere.
I didn't hear, yeah,
I
I
saw
didn't hear about,
someone posted that because I made a comment about. I think Shabooty made a comment about Rain last week or something. Oh, we were talking about her on the on the podcast about her not getting hired, how getting fired, and then somebody said, "Well, she's not this, that bad of a person. She's actually helping assisting Chitty with his eye surgery and stuff like
No,
that."
I don't. I disagree with the last sentiment of that sentence.
well, why, I don't know why she would do that because she's been pretty nasty about him online.
That's what I thought. I was like, nah,
Yeah,
show
no, she's not.
receipts.
She's not helping him. They're not on good terms.
I was
He
like,
set up his own
Yeah,
independent GoFundMe, but I don't know if it went anywhere.
receipts, or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
well, I mean, it could be that maybe she's talking to doctors for him in exchange for part of the money. I mean, I don't know like how it will work. Like, I don't know if maybe she's facilitating appointments and Zoom calls for him or whatever, since, he's
Yeah,
blind.
but
He might need
I
help.
thought they were in bad terms.
No, I
They
think they
are.
are.
They're
So
I
why
think
on
you're
would
very,
she be?
very
misinformed. No
bad
So
offense.
terms.
why would she be assisting him anyways?
She's not.
I don't think she is.
Yeah.
Unless there's money involved and he's paying her, I
Yeah.
don't
I don't
believe
think
that.
that's.
I
I
just
think
don't.
you misread something or
And I'm gonna look for that tweet. I'm gonna look for that tweet.
I think I know money talks, and that's the only way that that's what's going on. That's the only way because she's been very, very, very nasty to him online.
something.
Like she's called him. I mean, she's even talked about the shade of his skin online. Like she's been very nasty.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look for the post where someone told me, well, I don't think that's right. It is this because she's actually trying to help him
In
get
my
his eyes fixed.
opinion,
So I'm gonna look for that.
whoever wrote that, it's probably Renee on a burner
No,
account.
I'm gonna.
That's
It's
my
one of my
opinion.
followers. God damn it! How do I find that? Because I know I have a lot. But
That sounds like something that
it
she would
was last
say.
week
Mhm.
after we were
It's one
after
of your
Shabooty.
fugazi followers, Captain.
No, no, it was after you. It was actually somebody commenting about what you posted about her being fired.
Hmm.
Yeah, and then somebody else said, "Well, I never want to see her again." And then that person chimed in, "Well, she's really a nice person." So it was like a thread. I
Hmm.
not yeah under your post, and I'm gonna look for that because I was like, "Oh, that's really nice."
Yeah, I doubt it. And I think that the fire thing, if she wasn't, she would be at the tell all.
Hmm.
So, and I think she's also confused because we talked about this last week. I'll just say real quick. The network doesn't fire people when you're under contract. They just let, and this works in the production of TV shows, reality shows, and music. So if you sign a contract, that the contract is for the duration, they don't usually break it. They just won't use you and let you sit in the contract until it expires. Because when you break a contract before the um the end of it, there's compensation talks. Like you can, because if you break it early, you might owe them money, they might owe you money. So they usually just let it sit. They just won't use you. They'll just act like you
Hmm.
don't exist, but they let you sit out the contract.
True. Okay. Do you want to read some comments real quick?
Yeah, let's get into some
Okay.
comments.
Jenny says Michael was live on TikTok today. I happened to open TikTok today, and he was dancing. Someone says I don't know how accurate this is, but Faith says I think they said Big Mike is 6'5". I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, I heard he was over 6 feet. I have heard that.
Let's see.
He didn't get that big
Damn, that's even worse. That's
nickname.
even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, if
He
he
didn't
hooks
get
up
that
with
big
Liz, then
nickname.
I'm gonna
No.
find a new crush.
Yeah, that's like a timber, like a big timber, Georgia pine tree.
Tree trunk.
Yeah, oof.
Hmm. Let's see. I like Squid Game. I heard people complain about season two. Squid Game is my current obsession. I have avoided watching Squid Games. I'm watching Trunk on Netflix. I don't know what that is.
Trunk? Yeah, I don't know
Yeah, I
what
don't
that
know what that is,
is. I
but
don't know.
let's not get into that wormhole. Lana says, "Feel better, Coco." Let's see. Someone says, "It irks me. Jasmine is a Latin version of Angela, but seems to get a pass because she's not an ugly old woman." What
Oh,
about that? That's an
that's an
interesting take.
interesting. Yeah, that's a very interesting perception because you're right. Angela and Jasmine do basically the same thing to their men. And Jasmine, being a big breasted Latina,
Hmm.
has gotten away with it longer than we let Angela.
No, I don't even think
Because,
it's a Latina. I think what they say. She's younger and more voluptuous.
hmm.
And Angela is just like, you
Hmm.
know,
A
not
haggard old
as
hag.
attractive. Yeah, haggard, smoking chimney
So
and stuff.
are we prone to let people get away with things based on how attractive they are? Are
Duh.
we
Yes.
built like that as human
Yeah.
beings? Like,
Of course we are.
see,
If you go to tape, if you go back into the archives, you see how many people we let it get away with shit because they were pretty. Yeah.
that's a horrible thing, but it is true because remember Sarper ripped Shekinah's hair out of her head, but since Shekinah thinks he's the hottest guy in the world, she was like, it'll grow back.
Yeah.
She was just like, whatever, it'll grow back. Hair grows. It's not a big deal.
Mm.
And I don't like the idea that being attractive is a get out of jail free pass.
Let's not
Because
forget the mother of all bitches, Anfisa. Anfisa used to tear that man a new one every episode. You remember the Anfisa
yeah,
episodes?
Mhm.
Yeah.
and we reposted it and laughed
And
at it.
we
I
and
still
we
joke
and we
about
and we
I
rolled around and and we laughed about that. I don't. Oh,
I still joke about the
yeah.
red makeup bag.
Yep.
I
The
still
red
joke about
makeup
it to this
bag.
day.
Anfisa used to tear that man's ass in half, but we let it
Yeah,
go.
Mhm.
we gotta do better, y'all. We gotta do
we
better. We can't just be letting pretty people do horrible things
we're
anymore. We gotta
society.
do
We're
better.
corrupted by society. We're
Mhm.
visual. We're visual empathizers.
True. And then
we empathize.
the
We
catnip
empathize with what's pretty.
catnip Evergreen says, "It feels like Jasmine hates men at this point and is trying to make everyone against they man's, not a girl's girl. Misery loves company."
Yeah, you're
I mean,
right. She
Jasmine
didn't like.
has commented a few times that she would get down with some of the chicks on there.
Well, remember in the
Hmm.
one season, on the one episode, they asked her what her perfect world would be, and she said it was called Jasmine Town or
Yeah.
Jasmine
Hmm.
Country,
Hmm.
and it would only be women allowed, no
Hmm.
men, and they could have free plastic surgery. You're right. I think she definitely hates men. It's not just Gino. I think that, you know what? Maybe we're looking at this all wrong. Maybe Jasmine is trying to go over to the other side,
Didn't she make a
and
comment about that? Like, who was that she said she would definitely do? I don't know if it was it was somebody that she said she would do. I don't think it was. I don't think it
oh,
was.
she did
Yeah,
say
she said
something
she would
on.
definitely
You're
do.
right.
Yeah,
It was on a tell-all. I think a
yeah,
happily ever after
I
tell-all.
think so. She
I
said
don't
she would
remember who it
definitely
was
be down. I
specifically.
don't know who was on that panel, but she said she would be DTF.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. I can't remember who it was, but she did say that. And then she did a brief stint with Nikki Exotica. Remember that? Her and Nikki were inseparable for a
Mhm.
while.
Yeah, but
They were always together.
yeah, but
So that also happened as well. I mean, maybe she's
she did
switching
say she was
teams.
down with. I think it wasn't Nikki Exotica that she said she was DTF.
I think it might have been
It might
her.
have
It might
been.
have
It
been.
might have been at that
But they're
time.
like they're like besties, right?
Yeah, but
Yeah, I don't think no. I don't think anything actually happened
no,
between the
no,
two
they
of
didn't.
them
Nothing
because
happened, but
they were under the same
Mhm.
management, and Jasmine's manager signed Nikki Exotica, and right after that they started doing things together. I think that was management strategy. I don't think that there was anything actually going
The
on.
same shitty
yeah.
management that didn't allow Nikki on our podcast.
No, that was her publicist.
Mhm.
The manager is actually a normal professional manager. I think it's the same manager that Kim and Emily and Kobe and everyone. It's the same manager, I
Well,
believe.
shouldn't the manager be involved of blocking them from podcasts?
Well, yes. I think at that point when that happened, um, I don't know if that was the same manager. When did that happen? I don't remember specifically when that publicist told her she couldn't do the show. How long ago
Maybe
was
like
that?
5 or 6 months or something.
Oh no, yeah, she was definitely under that management then. You're right. And again, we don't know how much the manager knew about what was taking place,
Hmm.
because I know this manager personally. She's a manager to a lot of my friends. So we've had many conversations before.
Is
So
it that
again,
is
I
the
don't know
manager?
how.
Is she like a blonde woman or something?
Um yes.
Okay.
Her name is
Yeah, yeah, I
Dominique.
know. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, she's nice, but she's what's the word? She's more into paying stuff. So like when you want to get someone on a
Hmm.
podcast, it's more so up to TLC than her. Like if it she doesn't really care either way. But if it's she's more into the paid stuff, so she wants to get them on. So I think if we would have went through her, Nikki would have been fine to come on. TLC would have said no.
Hmm.
Because I think she was still active in the season. Right? I'm pretty sure when you're still active in the season, TLC automatically says no now.
True. But the funny part is like, for example, Vanja, we were trying to get her on, and TLC says no because she's active in the season. But as soon as Vanja's not on an active season, I have zero interest in talking to her, quite frankly.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why do you not want to hear
Well,
her
okay.
side?
I
Or
mean, if
is
she
it
came
because
on after she's not on there, okay, I would still have her on, but my interest is reduced greatly because it's just they were less relevant at that point.
I feel like they're setting her up to be a contestant on the single life since everything went so shitty for her. Strike two,
Hmm.
she striked out twice in one season. They're probably gonna toss her into the single
well,
life. She striked out on Bozo and
yeah,
then Vasco, whatever his name is. So they're probably gonna save her up for the single life.
yeah, she was one of the boat party girls. So the people I'm telling you my theory, and I'm sticking with it till the end, that everybody at that boat party is gonna show up. Remember they did the 10-year
Hmm.
reunion and they had only certain people went to that 10-year reunion. It was
Hmm.
Tyree, it was
Liz
Chantel.
and Big Ed.
Basically it was yeah, it was the entire cast of the next two seasons of shows that they were
Yeah.
doing. And I think that they're doing it's very um it's on
No.
purpose. Like
Yeah.
they're pushing
Like
these people on purpose. And
yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Like I think with the 10-year party, they had all those people that they were going to have in future seasons. In a way, that was like their cover for not inviting others. So when all the other people that didn't get invited get all
yes.
pissed off, they say, "Well, it's not a personal thing. We like you. Obviously, we want to work with you in the future. But the people that we invited to the 10-year party, that people are currently slated to come in the upcoming seasons, like literally immediately. So we needed to invite them here to continue the promote, to do the promotion with press, to interview with people and meet people." That's the reason they were there, and the reason you weren't there. No offense.
Well, you're not wrong.
Mhm.
I talked to a lot of cast members that said that they found out about the party and who was there the same time we did.
Mhm.
So you're right. They didn't tell anyone, and then they used the excuse, it was an invited guest list for marketing and promotional purposes. But they didn't actually tell anyone. I actually spoke to people who were really angry
Mhm.
because they were like, "Well, I've been on several seasons, and my name is," and no one even told me. Because I was like, they could have at least said, "Hey, we're doing a 10-year party. We're not inviting."
Mhm.
Everyone. It's just they didn't even tell the cast members, which I thought was a little shady. Because I know you can't invite everybody to everything. The show's been on for 10 years,
Mhm.
right? But it could have been like, hey, we're not inviting you, but here's a TLC pillow.
Mhm.
Thanks for being a part of the 90-day universe. They just didn't tell them.
Yeah, I mean they could. Yeah, it's a very slippery slope, especially because like TLC has money, so they could afford to do whatever the fuck they want to do, especially if it's for marketing purposes. But like, they could have done a thing where they say, "Hey, like this is what's going down. The people that are going to be in the immediate season, upcoming seasons, they're kind of we're paying for them to come. But if you want to come on your own dime, here's like the venue. You can come on your own dime." That could have been an option, but then again, a lot of people would have came, and then it would have went to at capacity, so that venue would have been tight. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it wasn't like a really big
Yeah.
boat. I mean, they did it the way they did it, and a lot of cast was really angry. Like a lot of cast was. But it's like if you have a Christmas party for your company at a job, you don't just invite payroll. You invite everybody. And I kind of looked at it the same way. The 90 Day Fiance 10-year anniversary should have been for everybody. So the way they did it, I don't agree with the way they did it.
True, and yeah, it was interesting because they had the sharp people, they had the TLC people, they had the The current.
They had HBO Max people too. Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah, it was a big deal.
I did, though. I will say I did get a kick out of S. Scott not being invited and him being upset.
Well, as Scott thinking he was going to get invited was kind of funny because he was on the outs with him at the moment anyway. So it's, I don't know. Everything with him is just, oh, I'm not invited. And I'm like, that's like, going to a job that you was recently fired from for
Mhm.
punching someone. And then they have a Christmas party. And then you're like, y'all didn't
Okay,
invite me to the
well,
Christmas party. And they're like, nope.
let me ask this though. In the like, let's compare it. So like, there's Vanja and Yoshko, right? And then there's Now I'm drawing a blank. What's the name of Pedro's mom again?
Miss Karen.
Karen. Okay, so there's
No,
Karen,
Pedro's mom is Lydia.
Lydia. Yeah, yeah, Lydia.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Pedro's mom
Okay,
is
so
Lydia.
so
Chantel's
my
mom's Karen.
my question is like, okay, so there's Vanja, who's the main cast member, and then there's Yoshko, and then there's Lydia, and then there's S. Scott. So is S. Scott the Yoshko or what in that equation?
Well, no, because Scott is the main character because he was the one dating the person from another
Okay, so
country.
Lydia was the
Yeah.
Yoshko.
Yeah,
Okay,
Lydia was
okay, I
the
just wanted to
Yoshko.
figure that out. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Never mind.
In order to be a main cast, you have to be the one who's dating the person from another
Yeah.
country. And then there's exceptions to the rules, such as Ed and
Mhm.
Liz, who weren't dating anyone from another country. There's a few exceptions, but in order to be a main cast, you need to be the American per se, and you're dating someone from another country, or you're the American moving to another country. That makes you the main cast.
Yeah. No, I was trying to think of a way to belittle Scott, but it didn't work out how I planned.
Well, he was a main cast on Love in Paradise, and he was only a supporting role basically on The Family Chantel because obviously the show was about Chantel and Pedro. It wasn't about
Mhm.
him. So technically, he was in a supporting
Yeah.
role on that show. He wasn't really main cast,
Yeah, but
obviously.
he
Um,
acts like he's the fucking big kahuna
yeah, he's got that main cast syndrome,
main
that
character.
main character syndrome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the Tom Cruise of everything he's in.
Hmm.
And I don't knock people for having confidence, and confidence is key to being successful. But at some point you got to back up. You got to back it up.
Hmm.
You can't just walk around and tell everyone you're better without proving it to anyone.
True. So, what do you think of like Lauren, where he uses the hashtags such as hashtag gonorrhea and hashtag butter knife?
Yeah, he's rolling around in the fame that we gave him for being, gonorrhea boy and stuff like that. So he's getting
Yeah.
his famous streak off of those things. I mean, I still want to get him on this show, but something tells me he's coming back for something or another. I'm not sure what, because he won't touch us with a 10-foot pole. So
Mhm.
I'm thinking he's coming back
Uh,
for something or another. You know how TLC loves to bring back the people that everybody hates, and everybody hates him. Aside from us, everybody hates Lauren.
Mhm.
So I,
well, he's easy. He's easy to hate and love. People love to hate him.
Mhm.
But that's like with Angela. It's like people hate her. She's easy to hate, but when she's on the season, everyone talks about it. The season is getting tweeted about.
exactly,
There's posts
and
about
Lauren
it.
has been the talk of the season.
Mhm. So
Yeah,
I,
So
I
I
I
can't.
also saw he did a video where he got a tattoo today, right?
Oh, I think I saw
The,
that. Yeah, I did see that.
I guess
Yeah.
my follow up question was, because I know it was an arm tattoo. This all was posted like right before we started the podcast, so that's why we didn't get to investigate too much. But like, I know it was an arm tattoo. But my question is, was it? Do you think it was like a cover up tattoo for that shitty flag that Faith put on him, or whatever?
Oh, I would have assumed that tattoo was gone by now. I feel like the way how poorly it was done that it wouldn't even like show up after a
Hmm.
while.
But because I
Hold
know
on, I'm
he
gonna
got
go
a
on his
tattoo of
page
a
real.
Japanese kabuki, whatever that is. So yeah, he got a tattoo. But I'm just curious. The only part I'm curious about is if it's a cover up the tattoo that Faith gave him. Which I'm sure if I ask him, he'll just answer and tell me the answer. But
Um.
maybe we'll have to save that Q and that for the next
Okay.
show.
I'm gonna send it to you in the caption. It does say, "Why does everyone think this was a cover up?" So I'm gonna send it to you, and then you tell
So does
me.
that mean it's not a cover up? It's his other arm or something?
Well, it looks like it's on his right no, he's turning this way, so that would be his right shoulder. I don't remember which shoulder he used on the show.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. So this is his right shoulder. So yeah, if any super fans are listening, super duper fans, if y'all can go back and figure out which arm that Faith did the shitty tattoo on.
Okay, it's on the right.
Wait,
So it is a cover up. I'm gonna send
It's on
you
the right.
a video.
She did that shit
so
on
Yeah,
it
the
is a
right arm.
cover up then.
it is a cover up,
Okay.
100%. I just sent you both
Oh,
videos, of the new one on his right shoulder and then the old one on his right. Or yeah, on his right.
wait.
Yeah,
Let's see.
correct.
Hold on.
I sent it to the group chat.
No, but then the second thing you sent me, it looks like his left shoulder. No.
He's just turned in the opposite direction. On the one I sent you, he's completely like 180.
Okay.
Captain, can you see those stories too? Can you verify that those are both the right? Because it looks like he's just turned in the opposite direction of the last
He's
photo.
turned
So
in
when
the
you
opposite direction. So if you
yeah,
to
so
line them up, yeah, it's on the right side where she did the little
yeah,
scriggly scraggle thing, and then he
yes.
went and got a proper cover up.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're correct.
All right, I'm going to also send you the link on Twitter so
No,
you
no,
can
I think you're
so we can,
correct. Yeah,
okay.
yeah, you're correct.
It's kind of confusing with the because sometimes when you use the front camera, back camera, everything is flipped, so matters what direction you're standing in
Well, hold on. Now
to
I'm like, I said you're correct, but now I'm like second guessing myself.
well, what I've learned is when you're looking at
Mhm,
a photo but they're going the opposite way, you flip
mhm,
it. So if it looks like it's the left, it's actually the right if they're turned in that direction, and if they're turned the other direction, if it looks like the right, it's actually the left.
mhm. Okay, well, so anyway, so what's your synopsis? So is it a cover up or not?
Absolutely, yeah, it's a cover up.
It's
I
definitely a
don't
cover
know.
up. It's definitely to cover up whatever disaster he did for the camera because
Mhm.
he knew that girl wasn't gonna do no no tattoo on him. He just wanted to be, dramatic for the camera.
Do you
Yeah,
to our live listeners? Do you want me to post the photos?
Yeah, post the photos so everybody can see.
yeah, and we can get their opinions on if they believe it's also the
Yeah,
same
let
um
them all speak.
shoulder.
Let them all speak, Shabooty.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
that
know they're
way.
videos, but I'm just gonna post a screenshot of the thumbnail of the video, so it's just a photo. But I'm gonna post those, and then y'all tell me if it's like the same arm or not, because yeah, because that's the $1 million question, and I was started second guessing myself.
Yeah, it's confusing. When you have to flip the picture because they're in different directions. I've always had issues with that. So I don't know. It's embarrassing, but I would stand up and face the direction that they're facing, and then I would determine which
Mhm.
arm they're using. Like that was like the only way I used to be able to do it.
Okay, so I just tweeted the people that are listening live. I just tweeted the photo in the chat, and I also retweeted myself. So So yes, to the people that are in their right minds, like look at the photos and see if you think it's the same arm or not, and let us know.
Yeah, and also tell us what you think of the tat itself.
Yeah, it's a
It's
Japanese
what?
kabuki.
Yes, yeah, a Japanese kabuki. So I like it. I'm not a tat guy, but I like it. It looks much better than the foolishness that he put on his arm before. So I like
Hmm.
it.
I feel like it'd been funnier if it was like a TJ Maxx logo or something. Y- You there?
Yeah, you talking to me?
I don't know. George, you're muted.
Oh, George is muted.
Yeah, but I don't think he meant to be muted.
Um,
Hold on.
alright.
Let me text him. Give us a second. All right. I don't know what's up with George, but let me see if any people replied to my post.
My bad, guys. The cat got out.
Uh,
My bad. She was out on the lanai. I don't like her out there because there's the the pool and stuff, and it's dark, so I don't want her out there.
True.
Okay.
Somebody said, "How did he get the money for this tattoo?"
That's a great question because if anyone has ever cried broke more than Loren, it's no one. That's an excellent question because he's also been posting his child support payments online, showing that he's up to date, and it looked like he's paying 177. I don't know if it's every 2 weeks. I think it's every 2 weeks. He's paying 177, which I'm gonna be real with you guys. His child support payments are a lot less than I thought. The way that he described them, I thought that it was way more. So I have friends that are paying for two children $1,700 a month. So when I saw that he was only paying 177 every 2 weeks, I was like,
Mm.
oh, that's for two kids. That's not I don't know his financial situation, but the way that he described it in on the show and on his Instagram, I thought that he was paying way more because he
Mm.
made it seem like it was bankrupting him.
Well, child support goes according to your income. So the less you make, the less they take for your children. The more you make, the more they take for your children. So if he's making, working at TJ Maxx or whatever the case, he's not making enough money. They'll take out $177 a month for the two kids because he's not making
Hmm.
that much money a month. A child support goes according to your income.
Yeah, I know
Oh,
when we
okay.
first got introduced to him, and I forget there's a specific word for it, but like when you like voluntarily like earn as little money as possible, like he was one of those kind of guys.
Oh yeah, I've talked to some people that have been through that
He's like
situation where they said that they're
underemployed on purpose or something.
yeah, underemployed. They've told me like their husbands would quit a really good
Mm.
job and go work at like whatever the lowest paying job they could find was just so they didn't have to pay as
Mm.
much. Yeah, I've have heard of the underemployed tactic because I guess it does go based on your income, which I think is really dumb because whether or not your kids eat or not shouldn't be based on how little you
Mm.
make. You should have to feed your kids regardless.
Yeah,
Like
but
if you
but
don't
if
have
you
enough.
can't make enough money to feed yourself, how are you going to feed your kids? That's what the government is trying to say. Because if you're making, let's say, after taxes, you're taking home $300 a week, and you got two kids, and you got to pay rent, and you got to pay light because you don't live with them anymore, obviously. So, and you got to get to work. You know, how are you going to support two kids by giving them your entire
Well,
salary? You can't. It's
I
not.
feel like
Because remember, keep in mind, and the government, a lot of the children who receive child support, that their parents, that their fathers, whatever, the parents are supposed to be in the support can't afford to feed them properly. They only take out a fraction of your child support, but they give them government assistance. They're also getting food stamps, Medicaid, Section 8, and all that other shit. The child support is just a supplement to keep the father, paying for something, but they're not just
oh,
living
okay.
off of child support. They're living the child support is a supplement. Kids
Mhm.
that live off the government. You understand? If you don't
Oh.
live off the
So
government, if you have a $100,000 job in Wall Street or some shit like that, yeah, then your kids are gonna get a lot more money. But those kids that only get a fraction, 20 off the minimum wage earning parents, it's just a supplemental income for your children. Your children are getting medical benefits and food stamps as well.
that's kind of sad because I live in this world and I know how much things cost, and the only difference between me and those children is I could go out and get another job if I need to. Those kids can't. So it's kind of sad because they're basically given a horrible life, and there's children can't change their situation. An
Not
adult can go out and get another job, an adult can get a better job.
George, not all circumstances are how you think. If you are on a public assistance, 9 out of 10 you're getting a supplemental income, which is cash. Your light bill is subsidized because you're on welfare. You're getting, if you have a baby, you're getting WIC, so they're giving you free milk and cheese and formula. You qualify for Section 8, so your $900 rent is now $100 a month, and the city pays the other 8. You're getting Medicaid that covers all of your medical benefits for you and your kids, and you're supplementing uh, that income with $50 every 2 weeks that the father gives to your children, the kids are not really that bad off. If you're receiving government assistance, they're not that bad off. So don't think that they're living in squalor waiting for the father to send $50. These kids that get
Oh,
supplemental income from the government are pretty well off. Their parents are just waiting on the $50 from their dad because they want to keep them honest. You did make the baby, you should have to pay. The government shouldn't have to
yeah.
pay, support your kid all the way. That's what the child support, even if it's $10 out of your paycheck they're taking, but the government's going to take it because we're paying the whole ride for your kids. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, that's how it is.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
So they're not that bad off. A lot of them live better than you and I do.
Oh, that's
Yes,
interesting.
they
Yeah, those
do.
That's
little
very
And
kids
they
interesting.
got home theaters and shit.
let me tell you something. They're in, especially in Florida. Florida gives Section 8 to some houses that you drive by and you will never believe that the person that lives there is living off of Section 8. You think that you're like the 3, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, yard, everything. And that's a Section 8 subsidized house. And the person that lives there pays a fraction, not even a fraction of what the house costs.
Mhm. But by the
Oh
way,
wow.
this is a different subject. But George, did you finally watch the tell-all teaser?
Oh yeah, I did see it. Yeah, you're right. It was only like 10
Mhm.
seconds. I finally saw it. And it's funny because I watched the playback on my DVR. It wasn't on there either. I don't know how y'all got
Mhm.
it. Because I watched on TLC Go, didn't get it. I watched the playback of the episode on my DVR. I didn't get it. But somebody, thank God, posted like a screen record of it on Instagram, and I finally got to watch it. And yeah, I was so shocked to see Vaya on the
Mhm.
screen and not in the studio. That caught me off guard. Everything else, nothing really shocked me. But when I saw that her and Sunny were both on the screen, I was very confused because I was like, is she back in South Africa with him? Because I've seen Sunny's stories and he's been saying some pretty nasty stuff about the
Mhm.
show and how he doesn't ever want to watch it and it's
Mhm.
stupid and he doesn't want any part of it. So it would be weird if he was still
Mhm.
with her. So I was really confused.
Yeah, I don't know why Veo was split screen with him.
Yeah, I don't know why she wasn't in the
Mhm.
studio. And
But okay, but like, here's the deal though. Let's say this is just for the sake of the conversation. If they were in the same room, would there be a split screen or would just be a wide shot with both of them on the same shot?
they're usually still on a different. Hold on, let me think back. Actually, no, there it would be a wide shot because I remember when
Mhm.
when Submit's parents went on the tell-all, they were sitting together. They're in the
In
same
the
room,
same shot, yeah.
and then and yeah, and then Submit was on a different
Mhm.
camera, but both of his parents were together in one room, and then Submit obviously was somewhere else because I don't think him and his parents were speaking at the time.
Mhm. So
So
I think from
I don't.
that, I don't think it means they're together. I think it's just Vea for whatever reason she wasn't able to come to the United States, or she's like somewhere remote where she can't be there in New York City or something.
I mean, I don't think we're missing out on much for with her not being there. Like she didn't have the most interesting
Mhm.
story this season. It's not like we were like, I can't wait to see Vea show up to the tell-all so I can hear her describe what happened. Like I don't think that it's going to be that type of
And
situation. But
also like the
again,
fact, well, the fact that they got rid of the fact that they were not featuring Renee and Chitty, so they lost those cast members, so they had to figure out a way to have Vea on remotely for whatever's going on.
I wonder if she tried to refuse to do the
Mhm.
tell-all. A few people have tried that, and they added into the contracts more recently if you don't do the tell all. So now, excuse me, they used to pay you for the season on the second episode of the season. Now you don't receive any money for anything you've done until after the tell all ends. So if you don't show up to the tell
Mhm.
all, they don't have to pay you the amount for each episode plus the bonus for the tell all. They just have to pay you one single appearance fee, which is much, 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 much lower than what you would have gotten for the full season. So maybe she tried to say, oh, I don't want to be a part of it. I don't like the way things went on. I don't want to be there. And then they threatened her. They're like, well, the contract
Hmm.
states if you don't come to the tell-all, you will not be paid, or say it's 750. We're going to give you $750 instead of $25,000. And she probably said, oh. And they were like, so are you not going to show up? And then she said, I'll do a segment. And then maybe they discuss Zoom. Like, this could have been a
Hmm.
negotiation, because there's been a few people who refused. I believe Memphis was one of the cast members. She showed up to the tell-all
Oh, didn't
and
she
she
say she
sat
got sick or
through.
some shit?
Yeah, she claimed that she got sick, and then she went online and said that she was breastfeeding her son or whatever, and one of the producers was filming it. And then she said that she didn't want to be a part of it because she thought that was disgusting. And then we heard from the producer, and they said that that wasn't the case at all, and there was no footage of him filming her in the green room. Yeah, and she basically tried to say, oh well, she's basically the reason why they had to change the contract, because she cashed her check already and then walked out on the
Hmm.
tell-all.
Yeah.
Because the tell-all is a
Mhm.
bonus, so it's called a special bonus episode, so it's not a part of your season. So say for instance you get $1,500 an episode, and then you'll get $1,500 for the tell-all, but it's a bonus. It's not, so say it takes you 3 days to film it, they're only going to pay you $1,500. You're not going to get it per episode, or say there's 2 parts, 3 parts, you're not getting anything extra because it's considered bonus content. It's not a part of the contract season that
Mhm.
you
But
signed.
yeah, I'm under the impression that Vea is isn't with Sunny.
Oh no, I'm convinced. I've been watching his little lives and his little stories and how he's talking about the situation. I'm very, very convinced that they're not together. So I don't know what transpired. I don't have any inside information, but I'm pretty sure that they're
And then
not
on the
together.
teaser, it was like Vea was with some other dude or something.
Yeah, he said that she was cheating or in a relationship with someone else, and he didn't say it was Rory. So that was also weird, because I was like, oh, so she came back here and found somebody else other than Rory. That's a bit sketch too, because I was like, I figured if she was gonna end up with someone, it would be with Rory. So the idea that he's saying that she ended up with somebody and it wasn't Rory is a little sketch to
True,
me.
but I don't think we would put anything sketch past Vea, would we?
Well, no, no. I think Vea, she's the definition of
Mhm.
sketch, right? Like, have you noticed that her profile pictures and her Instagram pictures versus what she really looks
Mhm.
like? Like, I was thinking of crowning her the new filter queen of the 90 Day universe. Like, she's definitely been, it's almost insane how different, and she's wearing the pigtail look at the tell-all, the one that she debuted on Instagram a few months
Mhm.
ago. That's what she was wearing at the tell-all, which a lot of people thought she looked a little high with that look or whatever. But in my opinion, she always looks high,
Mhm.
right? I feel like she always looks like she's a little high.
She always looks like yeah, like dopey, like kind of out of
Yes.
it.
Yes, 150%. Again, this is alleged. I don't know her, but
Yeah.
when I see her and the way that she talks and how she's acting, it just looks like she is on
Yeah,
something,
but
something good,
and yeah,
you
let me
know?
just preface our jokes with allegedly, but yeah, but she doesn't come across as if she's on coke. She's on more of a downer than
No.
an upper.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe like something like a
Mhm.
antidepressant or NyQuil. We're
Well,
not
more
talking about anything
Dayquil than
crazy.
Nyquil.
Well, Dayquil, yeah, like something that makes you
Yeah.
nauseated. Like something a little. She's always seems like she just woke up and she's not 100% sure where she is in every scene. I get that
Oh yeah,
vibe
no,
from her.
no, my
It
bad.
just
You're
seems
right.
like,
No, you're right. It's more like Nyquil than Dayquil, actually.
yeah. Every time I see her, it looks like it's 6 a.m. and they just
Mhm.
barged in and she's a little
True.
confused, even though it's nighttime and they've been filming all day. Like I feel like
Mhm.
that every
Yeah,
time we
yeah.
see
Like
her,
every
she's
time you
like,
see her, it's as if she's like just woke up 3 seconds ago.
yes, and she's a little
Mhm.
confused, and she's not exactly. She wasn't told they
Yeah,
were
she
filming
wasn't.
that day. Like
She
that's the
wasn't sure if she
vibe that
took
I
a
get.
nap or she slept 12 hours.
Yeah, you're right. It's one of those where
Hmm.
you fall asleep and you wake up and you think it's the next day and you think you're
Yeah,
late for work.
but
That's the
really, it was
vibe
just
I
an
get
evening
every time
nap.
she's on camera. Yeah, I mean, I'm not, and this is alleged, guys. I don't know what she be doing in her personal life. I have no clue, but that's just the vibe that I get and see from her.
True. Yeah, no, I think we're all in agreement there. And,
Oh yeah, oh
and
yeah.
I think we hit all of our topics. The only thing we didn't talk about, and I hate to go back to S. Scott, who we hate, But so I guess his latest shtick to get attention online was like he's trying to get a. He was like all of a sudden it's like a midlife crisis, but now he wants to have a baby. But doesn't he already have kids? But anyway, now he hit up like Dr. April Carter to be his surrogate, and she immediately swatted down that idea in a video and said, "No, I'm not interested in having your fucking baby."
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Scott does have two kids, I believe, that are adults.
Hmm.
So that's an interesting, thing. I don't think he actually wants to have a child. Again, it's every week is something new with
It's
Scott. I think that
shtick.
he's looking to, but not even a week ago, he posted he was engaged. And then a fan sent me pictures of his Facebook dating profile. He's now single in New York looking for a woman. And then now he wants to be a dad with
Mhm.
Dr. Carter, which I think Dr. Carter, okay, so I really, really like her, right? I love her. I think she's amazing. She's intelligent. She's beautiful. But I do think, I don't know if you follow her on Instagram.
Mhm.
I feel like she's a bit ditzy
Mhm.
to be a doctor.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know. I don't know how to say this in a nice way, but I feel like when you meet a doctor, I like my doctors to be nice and smart. They don't need huge breasts. They don't need a huge ass. They don't need to be hot. I just want them to look super smart so I don't die.
Mhm.
And I feel like I know she's intelligent. We've had many, many conversations, but I do think sometimes online she portrays herself as like this ditzy,
Mhm.
hot big boob girl. And I don't know how counterproductive that is for her profession. It might not matter, but like for me, when I walk into the doctor, when I walk into the doctor's office, if my
Mhm.
doctor looks like she's like a 22-year-old blonde headed triple D with a BBL
Mhm.
and we're about to have surgery, I'm going to be a little nervous,
Mhm.
right? Like a tad bit nervous. I'm not saying, and I'm not judging, there's super intelligent people, in many shapes and forms and ways, but I don't know.
I
I feel
mean,
like I'm a little.
unless you were getting a BBL, then maybe you'd be comforted.
Well, yeah, if it's something that they've already done, but again, they were laying on their back when they did that. So how much of the procedure did they see? I don't, or laying on their stomach. So I don't know. Again, I don't, April. I don't mean anything by it. I think that you're intelligent. She has multiple businesses. She's a businesswoman and everything. It's just interesting that Scott would pick someone so out of his league
Mhm.
to play
Yeah.
a chick with. But do you remember back in the day they did a video
Mhm.
together where they were at the airport and then they were at a hotel together pretending that they were on a date? Do you remember that?
Yeah, there was like they did something. It was like a dinner date.
Yeah, that was so it's not uncommon that he would turn to her because they've done this type of stuff
Yeah, no.
earlier in.
I feel like the biggest thing that she does that is unintelligent is engaging with a Scot.
Well, they were castmates together, and I think that
Mhm.
that's where it started. Because I know when she was on the show and Scott was on the show, I was talking to both of them, and they were very close. That scene, that thing that they filmed together, that was here in Orlando,
Mhm.
so they were very close, and they're very nice. It is what it is. But I think that when you're cast members, y'all build like this bond together because a lot of cast members still to this day will tell you that they love Angela and they'll never stop loving her because they were on the same season, they were cast members, and they have that bond. I think that might be kind of what it is.
Mhm. Yeah, it's that little like, what's it called when it's like you all are the same part of the same group. Um,
Well, yeah, it's not, y'all are completely different. You would have never met and hung out in any other circumstance, but since you did this crazy thing
mhm.
together, y'all have that weird bond that you can't explain to people.
Yeah, it's the 90-day brotherhood and sisterhood, I guess.
Well, yeah, once you go on 90 Day, there's only so many people who can relate to you. Only really people who've been either on that show or on a show,
Mhm.
other reality show, can really relate to the craziness you're experiencing. A normal person will never understand, what it's like to wake up one day and you're just yourself, and then tomorrow morning you're not only really popular, but everyone hates you. Like it's
Mhm.
not a simple situation to be in.
Yeah, it's like that je ne sais quoi, but in like Jasmine's case, it's more of a je ne sais twat.
Or Natalie, twat.
Yes.
I mean, Natalie, I don't know. Like for me, I can't stand her. Like I can tolerate Jasmine, but again, I think it's y'all explained it to me. It's because I think she's pretty, and now I'm embarrassed of myself. I can't. I can't tolerate Natalie, and I think it's mostly because I don't think she's pretty.
Mm.
And now I feel really
Well, and then
shallow.
I guess I hate to give her free promo, but I guess she started her OnlyFans.
Yeah, are you surprised that that wasn't already a thing? Like when she posted that she was joining, I was like, "You mean again?" And then I went and did the research. She never joined. How crazy is it that Natalie was never on OnlyFans? I would have put money on it that she was already on it.
Yeah, like to me, it's not news because I assume you're already on it.
Well, and then I looked, and she wasn't, and that was the most surprising part for me because it seems like of any of the grifting people, right? Like that's like your first place. You go to Cameo, you go to OnlyFans, and
Mm-hmm.
we obviously know Sophie was on OnlyFans before the show. She was on OnlyFans after the show. It's not a surprise. So the fact that Natalie has been out for like 5 years and hasn't been selling coochie pics,
Mm-hmm.
kind of shocking. Kind of shocking. I'm not gonna lie.
And like it's fucking and any of our listeners, please don't be this person. But apparently now Jasmine is telling people like, "Hey, Coco, my dog, is about to turn like however many years old, so I'm gonna set up an Amazon wish list for y'all to buy my dog like birthday gifts."
Oh,
So please,
did she
please, yeah,
really?
she did. So please don't donate to Jasmine's dog. She doesn't. The dog doesn't need money.
Dogs don't need money or clothes, actually. Dogs are meant to just live the way that they are. That's funny that I mean a lot of the women have these Amazon wish lists though, which
Mm.
it's not, I hate to say it, it's not uncommon, but for your dog and not you. So wait, do you think that she's also asking for stuff for her, or you think it's just the dog? I've never looked to see what
Mm.
if she has a
I
wish
know
list too.
she has like a wish list where it's like buy my son gifts as well.
I'd buy
Oh
I'd
wait,
buy Jasmine a muzzle and a collar.
I did know about the buy my son Christmas gifts one.
Yeah,
I think I talked about that on the podcast, on my podcast.
yeah.
I did remember that.
So yeah, her wish lists are for anyone in her orbit.
Well, it's not shocking because she's coming from a sugar baby website. So just like, did you see what Sophie posted the other day where she was like, I'm looking for a real man, a man who's going to pay for my dinner and take me out and take care of me and treat me well. That wasn't a surprising statement for me because I can look at Sophie and I can tell you she hasn't had a job in at least 5 or 6 years. Like that didn't surprise me at all. So when she was saying, "Oh well, I'm looking for an independent man to take care of me and give me everything I need," I was like, "Well, I'm not surprised by that. It's
Well,
obvious that."
hello. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, remember before Sophie got on the show, her and her mother scrubbed their OnlyFans pages clean. So Sophie and her mom were both on OnlyFans prior to getting on the show.
Yeah.
Her
I know
mom.
Sophie
Yes,
was, but I didn't know her mom was.
her and her mom scrubbed their OnlyFans and their social media shit clean before they came on the show. So yeah, they were probably grifting way before, a long time.
Mhm.
So my theory, because you remember Sophie came on the show and she's like, "Oh, my family's rich and my grandpa has all this money and I don't even know where it came from." So my theory is I don't discredit that her family has money, but I think her family probably cut her and her mom off because of the long years of grifting.
Well,
Because
I think they cut her mom off. Remember, her mom had some substance abuse issues too.
Allegedly.
alleged, yeah,
Allegedly had some substance abuse issues too. So I think the mom was cut off long before. And
Mm.
it seems like maybe the grandparents would do like little charity events for for Sophie and take her out here and there. But she wasn't raised with the elites over there in Britain. So yeah.
oh no. Well, when I saw her wig, I knew. I was like, "Well,
Yeah.
your story ain't
Anybody
up."
that
I,
anybody
Mhm.
that has lived well would not automatically conform to the living conditions that Rob brought her into.
yeah, you're
If
100% right.
if you were ever born and raised in with indoor plumbing, it's really hard to go to a latrine situation
Mm.
with
Yeah, I
roaches and mouse traps all over the place in a one like a makeshift garage.
Studio.
There's no way she would have conformed to that so easily. She did it
I
because she's lived that way before.
yeah, I 100%
They
agree. When her
definitely
mom
lived.
got there, and her mom, he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna put this bed on the floor in front
And the
of
mom
the
laid on the floor
refrigerator."
with the rat traps in front of her. You can
Yeah, I
tell
knew then.
they've been in them streets. They lived in them
Yeah, I
streets.
knew then because I have some people in my family that are very, very wealthy, and I know if I would bring them to anything close to those conditions, they would go to the nearest Ritz Carlton. So when I saw that the mom was like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "Oh, you're gonna sleep right here on the
Yeah.
floor on this mattress on the floor," and she was like, "Okay," and she laid on it. I was like, "See, they didn't come from money
No, they didn't.
because
They didn't. There's no
I know
way.
people
There's
who
no
came
way.
from money, and there's always a Ritz Carlton nearby. And if anybody came from money, that's exactly
Not
where they
even
would be.
that. They wouldn't. If they came from the money that she said that she had personal chefs and all of that. Just driving into his neighborhood would have been a no. Would have been
Yeah, you're
automatic.
right.
No way. Nope. Nope. Nope.
I think Sophie and her mom, like I said, they were cut off from their family, and there was no chance that they could grift
Yeah.
in London anymore.
Yeah. They were.
Mm.
And
They were definitely living in the outskirts of London, somewhere in the ghetto.
I think it's called Southampton, isn't it? Southampton, isn't that the hood
Well,
in London?
They were
um,
living somewhere where mouse traps are a normal thing. Where roaches and
Oh
mouse
no, I don't know. I don't know what
where
that might. That
roaches,
actually might be the UK.
yeah, where roaches and mouse traps are normal. Where that's not
mm,
out of the norm to see that.
Yeah, I think that they came over here because you notice that Sophie's mom, she flew in for the wedding and never left. And I knew right then, I was like, oh, so you were trying to get over here to stay because I've invited people to events. They'll come to the event, they'll get
mm.
back on the plane, they'll go back home. Sophie's mom got here and immediately had a boyfriend.
Yeah, you saw,
You
and
know,
did you see the boyfriend? Does that look like a boyfriend from somebody that comes from money?
no,
He
absolutely
was
not.
sweat through every scene they put him in. He was sweating bullets. So that means there was some substance, allegedly, some substance abuse going on there. He was probably drunk or whatever. They don't know. They don't come from money. They don't come from money. Sophie
I
has never
think.
worn an outfit that she hasn't bought over the internet.
Mm.
Well, online people said that she wears Sheen
Yeah,
clothes.
Sheen. Every outfit that, and not
You,
even because Sheen has some nice outfits, but she wears like the real cheap ones. Like when Sheen is having like a fire sale, and they keep in. Well, that's Fashion Nova. Fashion Nova will email you 25 times a day when they're having a sale. She has one of those websites where they just keep bombarding her with 2 for 1, buy one get one free, all that shit. Her outfits are not flattering to her body at all, at all.
mm.
Uh, I think that her and her mom got over here and they underestimated their ability to grift. I think they thought they were going to be able to grift on a higher level.
No, but
And I,
they did grift because she landed on a TV show.
well, yeah,
She
she did
landed on
land
a
on the
TV
TV show.
show. So I mean, she landed on a TV show and she's already had breast implants and whatever. The mother had a facelift. Remember last season, the mother had a facelift. So they made money off of some shit, you know?
Mm.
Yeah, I think it was a lot less than they thought. I think she overestimated how good her wig was when she got here.
Yeah, she said
And I
she
think
paid
she
$1,100 for it. I don't know.
Like,
I don't
that
know.
was a
I don't know if it was dollars. It could have been
I mean,
pesos.
that was a
like what?
Pesos.
party city.
Well, if anyone out there is trying to get on 90 Day Fiance, my suggestion to you would be have a really shitty wig because I feel like casting would love that.
Oh, they probably. She came with her $1,100 wig. She even posted it online. I don't know why everybody's picking on me. My wig costs $1,100, and she posted a picture of the wig off the
Well,
website. But I was like,
no,
well,
that wig,
when you're buying shit
that wig
off of Temu, $1,100 doesn't equate to $1,100.
that wig was used to mop the floor at McDonald's for 3 years. And then she bought it from McDonald's and then she washed it in a washing machine on cold and then hung it out to dry outside.
Nah, not
That's
even.
the wig.
That wig was used by every hooker in London. and then
There
and,
is no
and then
way.
she found it
I
in the
hate to be like
bathroom. She found it in the bathroom of a dive bar, and
I hate to be like this, but I don't think Sophie has ever had $1,100 until she did this show. And
exactly.
and I don't know what she did because she was like, "Oh, I always worked and I always took care of myself." And I was like,
She
"So,
was she
escort
was on
allegedly."
OnlyFans. Her and her mother both had OnlyFans pages, and prior to the show, they scrubbed their shit clean. They scrubbed
Mm.
it clean because they
Well,
didn't want
they
nobody
still
to
found
know who they really, really were.
But they went and well, she reopened hers almost immediately when the show started. She reopened her OnlyFans, so I don't know why she thought she wanted to hide it. That's why I said I
Well,
think that
I
they
mean,
overestimated they
ju-
overestimated their ability to grift. I think she thought she was going to get here and she was going to be able to take care of herself off of idiot men. And I think she got here and the men met her and they were like, "Oh, you look like a clown with this thing on your head," and nobody was going to give her any money. And then she was like, "Well, I'm reopening my OnlyFans. Coochie pics for everybody."
yeah, coochie pics all around. I mean, if they scrubbed their OnlyFans page, you know that that shit must have been unacceptable for the TLC community because they, you know what I'm
Well,
Well, we
saying?
saw Rob's.
We saw
yeah,
Rob.
we saw
They didn't send
if
him the
Rob.
memo.
Okay, so
They didn't
if
send
Rob
Rob's the
was
memo
using
to scrub his
if Rob was
OnlyFans.
using butt plugs, what do we think Sophie was doing?
She was probably doing it all because they her and her mother look like they get down like that. Like they
I don't know,
just do
but on the show,
anything for
she's
money.
on the show. She seems very prudish sexually.
Prudish. That's what she wants us to
Yeah,
believe. I think
yeah, I noticed that.
I think that Sophie originally, I think she does like women. She does like women, and Rob, you know, we know what we know about him, and they just collaborated to make some money off the show. That's going to be my belief, and I'm sticking to that story. I think they just got collaborated to make money off the show. There's
I
absolutely
mean,
no
Yeah,
chemistry between either one of them.
I mean, typically, if you're that couple, a 22-year-old girl and a 34-year-old man, they both are in good shape. They both are good looking. There wouldn't be coaxing or convincing someone to want to touch the other in a normal situation.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
how you
definitely
get married right away and then just leave and go stay with your friend and go do this and go do that. They never showed a love scene or anything romantic between them or nothing. They're
mhm.
just like matter of
so
factly, you know?
do you know how when you apply for a visa you have to show proof of like a relationship? I feel like I want to see what they submitted
No,
for proof of a relationship because
she didn't come on a K1. She didn't come on a K1. She came on her own. She came on her own. They just happened to collaborate, but she did not come on a K1. First of all, he doesn't have enough money to pay for a K1. You got to have X amount of money in your bank account to petition someone. And you have to have a
well
steady
he's never had a
and
job when he was on the
you
show,
have to
right?
have a job for at least 5 years at the same job before you can petition anyone. So we already know those two facts are moot on his behalf. She was already here, or she came on some kind of a visitor's visa for some shit because she brought her mother right away.
Well, well, I've spoken to Rob before, and he told me that Sophie had been here. Well, they lived together in Mexico, which we knew, but she also came to Los Angeles and stayed in that very apartment more than once. So he said when she got here and she was on the show, like, "Oh, this is disgusting." He was like, "It was all fake and an act," because he was
Yeah,
like,
she
"She's
had
been
been there.
here and she
So
stayed here
she
before."
most likely came on a visitor's visa. Like when you petition
Well, yeah, I
someone to
think that
visit you for 30 days or whatever, she came
I
on a
think that
visitor's
her
visa.
goal was always to be an American citizen, and I think she might have came over here to find a man. I don't think that she already had one when she got here. I think you're right. I think that her goal was to find
Yeah.
somebody who was going to get that green card.
She came on a visitor's visa because you don't need to have, to show proof and all of that shit when you want somebody to visit you because it's only like a 30-day visa or something like that. So she might have came on a visitor's visa and then she probably adjusted her status when she got hired on the show and so
Mhm.
on went from there. But he didn't petition. He don't have enough money to petition her or a steady job to petition her or living income. He couldn't show anything, you know?
Well,
Yeah,
but like
I feel like the income between the three of them is probably like $26.
George, you've met the 90-day. You're one of the few lucky people on this planet that has got to meet the 90-day bad boys in person. Um, so
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I
out
did.
of curiosity, like, who was the tallest out of all of them, or who had the biggest stature physically?
Jamal is the tallest 90-day bad boy.
Okay.
He's extremely tall. But I knew that already. I knew Jamal already. He's a very very tall man, and I think you can tell on TV, right, that he's really tall. I think you can tell.
So what's the deal with Rob? Is he tall or short?
Um, he's taller than me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of short though. I'm like 5'9" and a half, 5'10".
Mm-hmm.
He was like a half an inch taller than me.
True.
and Josh was extremely small. I was very surprised at how short he was. Not just short, but just
Mhm.
tiny man.
Oh, really?
Just not, yeah, like a small in stature guy, like short,
He looks
skinny.
taller on television.
Yeah, he's a shorter
Probably with that
guy. So I
stretch
was,
lens, that panoramic lens when they show him.
yeah, he's, yeah, of the 90 Day Bad Boys, he's the shortest. It's really interesting because I don't want to give away any of the secrets. I love the guys, but if you notice, their videos are filmed from the ground up a lot.
Hmm.
That is a Bruno Mars move where it makes it appear that everyone is taller than they are.
Oh, that's some
Yeah, I
tea,
don't want to give away
y'all.
any secrets. Yeah, I don't want to give away any secrets. But if you watch their videos, notice that the camera is many times filming from the ground,
Hmm.
looking up at them. That is a trick that they use to make it appear that everyone is
Hmm.
equal in height.
Okay, do you want to know a trick that a lot of women use to make themselves slimmer looking?
Yeah, what's the trick?
It's called I'm gonna call it the big girl angle shot. And it's when you take the camera lens and you like aim it up over your head and point it down at you, and then it makes your body look like a lot thinner.
Oh, okay. So it's like the selfie,
Yeah.
but you hold your hand up really
Yeah,
high.
yeah,
Isn't that?
over your
Yeah.
head. You hold your
Like,
phone up over your
like you just hire a drone to take shots of you.
Oh, so like, okay, I gotcha.
yeah. And then you look
I
really
have
skinny.
noticed that because I'll meet people in person and I'll see them and then I'm like, oh, your bottom is bigger than I thought your bottom was. But I think you're right. They're using that selfie.
Hmm.
I don't know. I've always
The high hand
Yeah, the
selfie.
big girl angle shot.
Oh, okay.
I always question that though because it's like these filters and these angles. You can't like meet people with a filter. You can't meet people at an angle. So I don't understand why people do that because it's like when you can't go out of the house looking
Well,
like
there's
that.
people who think they're never gonna meet you. So they're like,
Oh, is
I'm
that what
never
they
gonna
think?
meet Shabooty. I'm never gonna meet Shabooty. So I'm gonna start taking high hand shots of myself.
I
I'm gonna
mean,
buy a drone at Best Buy and start taking shots of myself from the drone.
hopefully one day we meet. No.
Yeah, hopefully with me, you won't be that disappointed in me. But in the meantime, I'm gonna get the drone pictures going.
You're gonna get one of
I mean,
you're gonna get one of those drones that are flying over Jersey to take your photo.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
those,
miraculously,
yeah, those are.
the miraculous. Now that you mention, miraculously, all the drones disappeared.
Yeah, I was gonna say those drones went back to space. Apparently,
Yeah,
no one
went
can
back to
find any.
Mars.
How did it go from
Mm.
every? There was a drone in every city and every sky, and now
Everybody
they're
was
all gone. Like
calling the police department about drones. All of a sudden, whoop,
Mhm.
we wake up one
that
day and
is
there's no drones.
right. They have to be from outer space.
Right?
Like there's no other explanation
Mars.
because they have to land. The drones have to land somewhere. Like
Nobody
how did
knew
they just
nothing. Nobody
disappear?
ever shot one down. Nobody ever examined one. The military didn't say nothing. One day we woke up and there was not a single drone in the sky.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
That
sketchy.
is.
That's very
That's
sketchy.
weird. That's some weird shit. Yeah.
True.
But this whole world is sketchy. People in certain states can't watch porn.
That's
This
crazy.
whole
That's
world is
crazy. I'm
sketchy.
glad I live on the East Coast.
I have a question. What type of porn are you watching?
No, I don't really watch it like that, but if I ever do fancy, just the regular stuff,
Mhm.
Nothing
Not,
weird. No anal
yeah.
stuff.
Oh no, nothing weird like that. Just the traditional stuff.
I like how Shabooty laughed when I said anal was weird because he's like, that's not even weird.
That's not even weird. Like you saw,
No.
you remember how Mr. Ark told Niles that he has to do it in the
Oh
front
yeah.
because Americans
Yes.
like to do it in the back. I was like, oh
So
shit.
yeah, that was what I was wondering. I was like, so do the people in Ghana think that we're just over here banging
Yeah,
anally
just
every day?
anal sex left and right. I was like, God
Mhm.
damn, give us some credit.
I was like, how dare you think that
Yeah.
everybody's over here just
He
doing it
was
in the
like,
butt?
yeah,
Like every
remember, you got to do it in the vagina. Like, that's normal. Like, what? And then I tweeted Mr. Art looking at Matilda walking in with her big giant caboose and
Mhm.
his mouth is open, his tongue is hanging out. And I'm like, yeah, you don't want to do it in the butt now, huh?
well, he said that he couldn't sex her in the butt. He didn't say he couldn't eat the
No, he
butt.
can say,
He
yeah, he
never
said
said
no
that.
sex in the butt.
Yeah, he didn't. He wasn't specific
Yeah, but
with the
you
eating
think Niall's
part.
head is gonna fit between those cheeks? She'd suffocate him. that girl,
No,
that
absolutely
girl
not.
had ass
I
for
feel.
days.
Do you feel like she's just way too much woman for him in general? I feel like Niles wouldn't even know what to do with that.
No, I think that
Yeah.
she's a good match for him because she kind of she seems very patient and like she's trying to teach him and help him. I think I think they're pretty good for each other. I could be wrong, but I think that they'll do pretty good. She seems very patient and very understanding of his condition.
No, I feel
I
like
mean, if
I
you.
feel like her big booty will like fog up his glasses.
And I feel like he
Well,
knows what to.
yeah,
I feel like he definitely knows what to do with that booty.
I feel like if she put that all in his face, he would need like oxygen. He wouldn't even
Nah,
be able to breathe.
you'd be
Like I
you'd be
worry about him.
surprised. He look like he I mean he knows exactly what to do with that
Yeah,
thing.
he'll eat the butt, but his autism will forget to remind him to breathe.
Nah,
Well, yeah, I worry. Like I feel like if it was all in his face, I would want to get him on like an oxygen machine just to make sure he's okay.
nah.
I feel like it's a lot. Matilda's a lot, right? Like she did clean up very, very nicely for the
Yeah, she
wedding.
looked
She was very
beautiful. She looked
beautiful.
beautiful.
And that was the first thing I thought when I saw all that ass, all them titties. I was like, no, Miles,
Mhm.
do you know what to do with this? Like, like all men aren't just born knowing what to do with it. Ladies, ladies have told lots of stories where they get in the bedroom with a man and he just don't know what to do.
Don't
So
let that autism fool you. That boy looked like he's
Mhm.
seen a couple porn films here and there. He knows exactly what to
Mhm.
do with all that ass. He wouldn't have chose somebody so well built. He would have
He look
chose. He would
watching
have
he
a
looks
chose
like the
video,
somebody like
type.
yeah. He would have chose like a stick figure chick.
He, he looks
but watching a movie is different from doing it though.
Not
he
that
looks like a
different.
type that would have like adult films on VHS still.
Yeah, even
Yeah,
if he has them in a
I
magazine,
also
he look like he knows what to do.
I feel like he's the type where he would sit Matilda down and they would watch it and then he would pause it and say, "Okay, let's try that."
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like I feel
and
like
I
he
feel
would be
like
like,
she'll be like, yeah, and you better do it just like he's doing it.
I feel like he's like that. Like he'll be like, "I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do," and then he'll pause it and he'll be like, "Okay, let's do that." I feel like he's like one of those.
I want to try that. I want to try this. I want to try that.
Wait, what state does Niles live in? I don't think he can watch
Alabama
porn.
or something.
Actually,
Oh
you know what? He
shit!
can't
He
watch
might have
porn.
watched it before he
Scratch
got
that.
there. He might have watched that.
He's got to get the VHSs out. I forgot he's in Alabama. He can't even
Yo,
watch
I
that
can't
anymore.
get it. I can't believe. You know what? I'm gonna once we finish this call, I'm gonna look that shit up. I can't believe the South can't watch porn. That's
I didn't believe it. I was online. I saw it was trending on
I have
Twitter, and I was
three
like,
brother. I
"Huh?
have three brothers in Florida that must be killing themselves right now. They can't
Wait." I
watch
was
porn in
gonna say,
Florida.
obviously you can't ask them, but you're right. They're probably really
No,
like,
I gotta
"Oh
ask
my
them. I'll be like,
god, that
yo,
is."
how y'all getting by without no porn?
So I didn't say this, but the people online said you have to use a VPN,
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
and then you can still watch it. But I didn't
like
say
when my
that.
husband uses FanDuel in a different state when he wants to bet on the game.
Yeah, because if it's illegal in your
You gotta
state,
use
you can
FanDuel
use
in a
a
different state. You gotta use a
yeah
VPN.
a VPN.
That's too much
But I'm
trouble
not
to
saying
go.
that. I'm not telling
Yeah,
people
no,
to
but
break
that's
the
too
law. I'm
much
not
trouble
saying
to
that.
go to watch porn. You gotta
Yeah.
do all that covert shit.
Yeah, just go on Tinder and do it for real. Like just go on Tinder.
Well, OnlyFans is probably gonna pick up a lot because now
Oh, you know
you're gonna
what?
go.
I don't know if OnlyFans is affected.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think it is because you have to like log
So
in
those
and like.
those people are gonna make a killing because now
Hold on, I'm gonna type it in real
if you can
quick.
go on OnlyFans in the South, then that eliminates the need for porn.
That's because like OnlyFans, if you're not logged in, it won't
Yeah,
show you anything anyway.
it opened. So
Yeah.
you're right. But it's technically it's supposed to be any site that you have to confirm you're 18 and older. So technically OnlyFans should be banned, but I just clicked it in there and it opened.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
because
OnlyFans,
OnlyFans
you don't
is
see
not
any
hundred
content
percent
unless you're like
porn.
logged in with an account.
Yeah, and it's not 100% porn. You have OnlyFans for random shit.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you're right. The
Yeah, it's
other
like
site.
YouTube. OnlyFans is like YouTube.
Yeah, you're right.
Now the minute you put in
And
anal, they're gonna shut down. The minute you type in anal, they're gonna shut that shit down for you real quick.
this is a weird generation. I feel bad for the like generation that is living through like you can't have social media and
That's
porn. And I'm
yo,
not
I
saying that
can't
any of that is.
believe that shit is existing right now. You can't have social media.
Well, I'm not saying any of that stuff is healthy to have in your life, but y'all, I was raised in a religious cult. That was the only way I could see stuff. So it's like the idea that they can't use it, like how are they going to grow up? Do you think that the children are going to grow up like weird now because they're going to have to learn about it when they become adults and
Well,
instead of
it's
earlier? And
even
then
worse because they're not teaching it sex ed in schools anymore.
right. So
Mhm.
now this makes me wonder, how is it going to
It's
affect,
gonna
because
be
when we were younger,
trial and error.
yeah, lots of pregnant
Lots of
girls, right?
pregnant
Because
girls,
no one's teaching them
lots of
anything, and then
babies,
they wait so long.
babies
It's gonna,
turning up at fire
yeah,
stations, hopefully, and stuff like that.
man. This is,
Yeah.
Mhm.
who would have thought 2025? This is
Imagine you
where
wait
we were
all the
gonna.
way to the 21st century to watch porn online and they cut that shit down.
Mhm.
This is crazy, y'all, for real. Like, and again, I'm not saying that it's healthy to have it in your life if you're younger or whatever. It's just I grew up with it,
Mhm.
and I don't know. It's just weird to think that they're taking it away from everybody, because this doesn't just affect younger people. Like, if even if you're an adult, they won't let you upload the ID. It's banned, so even adults can't watch it. So it's a whole thing for me. It's just weird.
True. So do we hit all of our topics? Because I know we did 3 hours.
I think we hit them all. Yeah. Um. Yeah, we talked about that. Riley. Yeah, I think we hit everything.
Okay, let me just see if there's any recent replies that are worthy.
Oh, and actually, I want to just voice my opinion on something I'm angry about. They stopped filming for the last 2 weeks or airing the first look. So I don't know why, but we're not getting a before the 90 days first look. We didn't get one last Friday. We didn't get one tonight.
Uh,
I don't know if this is the new normal going forward. I did like getting that little snippet to give me a little idea of what we were getting. So I'm a little pissed about that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, if you check your DVR, it's not there. It wasn't there last week. It wasn't there this week. And I'm like, so is that like gone forever? Are we no longer getting a sneak peek? Like, when?
Mhm.
Why?
Yeah, maybe they're saving it for like their mainstream media partners.
Well, that's the direction they're going in. They want us to watch it live so they can sell the ads for a higher price. And they're making decisions based on money, and they don't care about us, the people who've been watching this for 10 and a half years. They don't care about us. It's more so like, oh well, if we don't stream it, we can pay more, because you can sell an ad for more for somebody from a live TV show than a non-live TV show. But whatever, screw them. Let's talk about these comments.
Okay, 1 second. Oh, by the way, I think the people are, as far as like the Lauren's arm thing, I feel like people are saying it's the opposite side, and they don't think it's the same arm.
It's the opposite arm.
Yeah, they're saying
Huh.
it's not the same arm.
But he's facing the other direction, though.
Uh,
All right, I'm gonna DM him real quick, and I'm just gonna ask him.
okay, yeah. Anyway, we'll figure that out in a future episode.
Yeah, I'm gonna just.
Let's see what else. Hold on. Let me just read through this real quick. One, okay, let's see. And also, if Sophie had so much money, she wouldn't need Rob or anybody to be in the States for real. Because once you can come to the US legally like a visitor, you can file for adjustment of status once married. And then they could have got a co sponsor since Rob wasn't stable. I don't know.
Unless his family co-sponsored because they got money. His family has money,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think they would go that far to help him.
True.
I mean, they didn't even put him in a house with plumbing. I don't think they would have did that for her.
Hmm.
That's true. True.
And then this is a whole different topic that we didn't talk about. But this one says Brandon calling Julia a whore was out of line. How he gonna marry a go-go dancer and be upset how she parties?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely
Yeah.
agree. It's the story of the man who meets his girlfriend in a strip club and then tells her she's a whore because she's a stripper. I don't agree. It's like you were attracted to her because she was dancing in front of you. So how are you going to judge her for how you met her? This is exactly
How
what she
he's
did
gonna
when you
call
met.
her a whore when his parents are swingers?
That's true. That's true. Thank you.
Your
You're
whole
100%
mother
right.
is a swinger.
Mm,
That's
So
true.
how you gonna call this woman? And you met her knowing what she was about. So
Yeah, she hasn't changed. You're right. She definitely hasn't changed. Oh, and she never. So apparently they're gonna bring up her cheating on him. It hasn't come up in this season yet, but he's gonna say that she cheated. We don't know if it's true or not. We don't know if it's fluff, but they're gonna talk about it in one of the upcoming therapy session. So we're gonna see if she actually
Has she
cheated or
been
she was
has
just
she been
talking.
here for 2 years or more?
Yes.
Okay, because
Mhm.
usually you're here for at least 2 years before you can become a permanent resident and divorce the person you
Yeah,
married.
their season was like 3 or 4 years ago.
So it's coming around that time when they all start getting divorced because their 2 year cap is up.
All right, there's
I mean, I never saw why she was with him. I was very
To
confused, to
get
be honest
to
with you.
get
I
across
never,
the pond.
because I don't want to be rude, but I don't know who Brandon's type is or who would want Brandon, but I'm not following, especially for Julia. I'm not following.
mhm.
Well, we know his
Okay.
type.
Okay, maybe we should end it on yet another kissing Sean's ass comment, which is Sean has the whole vibe. He's genuinely kind and caring, has the hard bad boy look, but with the soft, loving lifestyle.
Yeah, but he ain't got no job though.
He's
I
an
mean,
MMA.
I'm never
He's an
gonna.
MMA fighter.
Yeah, they don't work like regularly. I had a friend of mine was doing a lot of research and we couldn't find one match that he's ever done.
Yeah, but look at
So,
the
but
chick he married. I mean, come on.
I mean, I think
Does she
that
really look like his type? Be honest. Does she look like the type of woman he would be with if it wasn't to get back to the
well,
States?
no, but she's gonna take care of him and she's not gonna require him to work. So,
Exactly.
and
And
she's
she
gonna
got her
take
own
care of his
house and
daughter.
she got money and everything and he got his thing. We gotta watch these seasons play out 10 years, 5, 10 years from now to see what's really not even 5 years, maybe 3 year marker to see how this really plays out. I feel like 90 Day
Yeah.
has become like a business. Like people that just want to be on the show are going to these countries and marrying people to be on the show to make money and bring them over here. And there's probably some money under the table that we don't know about. You know?
Yeah, you're probably right,
Yeah, I'll pay you
actually.
10 grand if you get me to the
Yeah.
States, and a bonus is being on the show.
Yeah, because when you get here, you don't have to work right away
Exactly,
because you get these
exactly.
checks from the
So you
show.
got to pay
Yeah.
the person something to bring you across, and a bonus is being on the show.
True.
I'm just never gonna get the Sean thing because I don't want him. So I'm never gonna see what women see. But I've been cussed out by so many women
Mhm.
like, oh, Sean is just great and he's sweet and he's kind. I'm like, but are you gonna pay rent with that sweet, kind, nice
Sean is
tattoo?
just like a whole pass. Sean is a whole pass. The kind of guy you have a one night stand with and then cut him loose. He's not marriage material. A lot of these
Well,
women,
no, who's
exactly.
gonna pay
A
the
lot of these
mortgage?
women
The
fantasizing
his
about him online. They just want to fuck him and that's it. Send him on his way.
Well, it has to be that
Send
because
him on his
Mhm.
way.
that accent is not gonna pay anyone's
At,
mortgage, right? Because it didn't even in Ireland. He was living with his mama with the
at
accent.
the end
Mhm.
of the day, this man is not going to do nothing for you. And you know he's going to be looking at younger, more voluptuous women. So that's like a one night stand fetish. But Sean is not marriage material. Everybody that likes him online just would like to fuck him and that's it. Cut him loose after that.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. I just because every time I told him, I was like, "So you want to move him in your house and marry him?" And they were like, "No,
No,
no, it's
no.
not
It's just like
that."
that fantasy that you have while you're doing the dishes or cooking dinner. You're like, damn, I'd really like to fuck that
Yeah, you're
guy.
right. She's she's folding
but
laundry and
but
she's
my
watching 90
husband pays
Day.
my
Mhm.
mortgage and all my bills. But if I had a whole pass, he'd definitely be it.
Yup,
Mhm.
that's 100% what it is. You're right.
True. All right, I think we've done like 3 hours and 15 minutes. I think.
Well, we started a little late,
Yeah, but
right?
it's also 1:47 a.m.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
So
Yeah, but we'll be back Sunday, right? I think we'll be back Sunday,
yeah.
and we'll be talking about the finale
Mhm.
of Before the 90 Days, the last episode before we get into this tell all. So we'll get some closure on a little bit of stuff. Yeah, the finale, in case y'all didn't see it, it's in 2 days. We're ending Before the 90 Days, and then we're going straight into the tell all
Yeah,
next
and
week.
next
So
week we gotta leave room for Lana and her stories.
I know.
yeah, We need to have some more Lana time. I agree. Lana, you're a fan favorite, a
And
crowd
we
favorite.
gotta leave open up the mic for some people who've been dying to say something, but they can't.
True. Well, you just support us. Send us photos of you listening to the show, like in your car or in a boat or in a plane, and send it to us. And then if we see you in here, we're obviously gonna let you speak if you send us cool photos like that.
Yeah, we'll definitely need to hear all about it. And thank you for supporting and listening, guys, into the new year. We appreciate all of you. We do this because we love it, but we also do it because we love doing it. So it's like a win-win for me.
Yeah, no, it's I always look forward to it.
All right,
So
thank you guys.
Okay,
Enjoy your week.
right before we end, Loren just wrote me back and he said, no, that is not covering Faith's tattoo. So guys, I think you win. I
it's
think
a
that
separate
it's
arm.
not the same. Yep, you win, guys.
Oh,
See, we gotta listen to our
yeah.
listeners. He just DM'd back. He said, no, it is not covering Faith's tattoo. He didn't say it was the same. My question was, is this the same arm or the other arm? His reply was, it is not covering Faith's tattoo.
Yeah.
So take it how you want to take that. But he said it's not.
Yes, I think it's a separate arm.
Yeah, because it would, if it was the same arm, it is 100% covering her tattoo.
Mm.
So
True.
my bad, guys. My bad. I
All
apologize.
right, guys. Well, you have a good
Cool.
week. See you soon.
Yeah, well, thank you everyone for listening to 90 Day Fiance Fridays on
Friday.
see y'all Sunday, hopefully.
All right. Bye bye now.
What a finale. Bye. Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year. Bye,
Peace.
everybody.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.